Yes, it is so good to see you again. Hopefully you enjoyed, I'm going to say officially the last weekend of holiday, because now it's get real, it's get down to business. I know things are feeling a little bit crazy at the moment. We turn our back for a second. Gerard Butler's in the White House.
Oh, wow.
I know, Sia's leaving Western Province. What's going on in the world? But it is amazing to be here. We'll be the quiet in the middle of that storm. It is so good to connect with you. Hopefully you're still feeling the joy this morning.
Definitely. And can you believe January is already in double digits? So it sure is flying by. And we are so happy to be back on your Feel Good Breakfast show.
Absolutely. And join us this morning as we highlight what we got up to these holidays and how we enjoyed it safely, though, because we are still in a pandemic. But it's so good to be able to connect with you guys again.
Yeah, very much so. I get a sense now, despite everything that's going on, when we're outside of our bubbles, South Africans are looking after each other now. Yeah. People are wearing their masks because, again, we went through it. We understand what's required of us. And I think people really are thinking about each other now, which is the most important thing. So thank you so much for that and for just being ultra cool and for joining us this morning. Start of a brand new week. So much to get excited about and so many beautiful faces to connect with. Let's take a look at some of those smiling faces right now. Morning, gang.
Good morning to you. Yes. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Good morning to you, South Africa. How do you feel?
So good to be back after that beautiful weekend and seeing the rest of Mzansi and joining you as we celebrate the start of a new week. Like G says, I think we're all officially back. No excuses. Everybody's back at work. And I think we're ready for it, eh? How about you, Kupe?
We really are ready for it. And that's exactly what we're trying to get to know from you on our social media platforms. We're all about those New Year's resolutions. We're all about discipline. We're all about following through this year with what we promise ourselves, but we always need that sense of motivation. We reach out to ask, what's your 2021 mantra? Hashtag Expresso Show. Obviously, Ryle, I'm going to start with you.
You know what? There's so many mantras that we could adopt this year, but I don't think we need to put so much pressure on ourselves. One thing I think we just need to acknowledge is this. For 2021, know that we've conquered something crazy last year. You've learned and you've grown at the same time. And I think it's so important to realize that this year, all we need to do is be present, realize our blessings, and just use these gifts for the good that it is capable of. I think it's as simple as that.
That's so beautiful. Be present and realize your blessings and use your gift for something to progress.
100%. For you,
I love that so much. For me, it's kind of along the same vibe, but for me it's like follow through and finish what you started. You know, I think last year, because we were shaken with the unprecedented reality that we are currently living, so much has been pushed off course. So now it's like we need to bring it back and try to adapt to the new normal, which is our current reality, and get back on track and just live with purpose and be intentional with everything that we do. We need to start off on a positive note.
Live with purpose. So of course, Mzansi, let us know what your 2021 mantra is, and we'll be chatting to you right throughout the day as you join us for one Magic Monday edition of Expresso Show. But before we kick it off with the rest of it, let's find out what's happening in the latest with our news.
Thank you, team. Let's start with national headlines. The Gauteng Department of Health says there has been a sharp increase in the number of COVID-19 patients at the Steve Biko Academic Hospital in Pretoria. Pictures on social media show a packed hospital with some patients even on the hospital roof. And in the Eastern Cape, the number of COVID-19 deaths has continued to rise at an alarming rate. In the past 24 hours, 85 deaths have been reported, putting the provincial death toll at 8,600. Authorities say despite the alarming death rate, ignorance remains prevalent. And meanwhile, a senior researcher at the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, Dr. Ridwan Suleiman, says 1 out of every 2 to 3 people test positive for COVID-19. The positivity rate is calculated at 30%, and scientists say it is worryingly high, even though there has been a slight decrease over the past week. Suleiman said the number of infections recorded per day has breached the 20,000 mark for the past 5 days, and the death toll has been between 390 and 600 on each day for the same period. And moving to news abroad, law enforcement officers in the Gambia have discovered nearly 3 tons of cocaine in a salt shipment from Ecuador. It's the largest ever seizure in the history of the tiny West African country, a poor nation of some 2 million people. Officers searched a container in the port of the capital, Banjul, and found 118 bags of illegal white powder, which were labeled as industrial salt. The seizure is worth some $88.5 million. And Indonesian authorities say they have found the location where they believe a Boeing 737 passenger plane crashed into the sea shortly after takeoff from the country's capital, Jakarta, on Saturday. The aircraft was carrying 62 people when it disappeared from radar 4 minutes into its journey. More than 10 ships have been deployed to the site with Navy divers. The missing aircraft is not a 737 MAX, the Boeing model that was grounded from March 2019 until last December, following 2 deadly crashes. And next, Austrian Airlines' splendid kickoff for 2021. Now, in the wake of a bygone year, the likes of which millions across the globe have never experienced before, the crew of Austrian Airlines had a very special welcome for their passengers, and it had a distinct South African flavor to it. It was undoubtedly a worthy start for the new year. Jerusalema by South African DJ and record producer Master KG, featuring South African vocalist Nomcebo, united the world in a dance. This upbeat gospel-influenced SA house song reached #1 in Belgium, the Netherlands, Romania, and Switzerland in 2020, and the viral dancing really made everyone's hearts sing. The Jerusalema challenge, which has been compared to the Macarena, spawned thousands of dance videos from across the world amid the crew of Austrian Airlines really and truly brought all of the feels while continuing that trend into 2021. Well, on that upbeat note, that's where I leave your morning headlines. Let's take a first look at your sport.
So much, Zoe, and hopefully, like me, you at home have been savoring every second of the live sport over this period. Let's bring you up to speed with what happened over the weekend. We start with rugby locally. The Currie Cup concluded round 7 this weekend with wins for the Cheetahs and the Pumas. The Pumas recording a very impressive 44-14 win over a very youthful Bulls side that was in Nelspruit yesterday. Then, of course, on Saturday, Rugby World Cup winner Frans Steyn, he guided the Cheetahs to a hard-fought win over the Ricketts in Kimberley. The match between Western Province and the Sharks, scheduled to take place in Cape Town, cancelled in line with COVID-19 protocols at the moment. So the Bulls remain at the top of the standings. That's following the round-robin phase, with the winless Ricketts sitting at the bottom of the log. Turning to football, in the PSL this weekend, defending champions Mamelodi Sundowns, they beat Baraka FC 2-0. That was to remain at the top of the standings. Last season's runners-up Kaizer Chiefs, they suffered a surprise 2-0 defeat at the hands of Maritzburg United. That was on Saturday. Then yesterday, Orlando Pirates were held to a 1-1 draw against Swallows FC. It also ended 1 apiece for Bloemfontein Celtic and Amazulu FC. The Premier Soccer League action will continue on Wednesday. Then staying with footballing action, FA Cup action in full swing this weekend continued with big victories for the top English Premier League teams. Defending Premier League champions Liverpool, they thrashed Aston Villa 4-1. Chelsea beat Morecambe 4-0 as well. Man City, they Birmingham City 3-0. And last night, Tottenham Hotspur claimed an impressive 5-0 win over the 7th leagued Marine. In the FA Cup holders Arsenal, they beat Newcastle United 2-0 in a pretty hard-fought encounter. Needed to go into extra time. Manchester United, they edged out Watford 1-0. Then bringing it back home for cricket, the Dolphins secured their spot in the Momentum One Day Cup semi-finals. That was after recording a 53-run victory over the Knights at the Senves Park in Potchefstroom yesterday. The Dolphins reaching 290 for 8, with the man of the match, Robbie Vreeland, picking up 2 wickets for just 14 runs, posting 37 from 18 deliveries. This was the second consecutive victory for the Dolphins, who also beat the Titans by 76 runs earlier in the competition. And moving to the international front, India closed day 4 of their 3rd test against hosts Australia on 98 for 2, requiring now a further 309 runs to win at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Australia resuming the day on 103 for 2 before declaring on 312 for 6, obviously aiming for that result. And the 4-match series is currently level on 1-1, really turning into a battle royale. The final final test match between Australia and India will start on Friday the 15th of January in Brisbane. And that's where we leave our sport for now. We'll delve a little deeper into all of the weekend permutations in our weekend sports review in just a moment, so stick around for that. Right now, let's take a look at some of your beautiful skies and get our first take on the weather.
We welcome you back to Expresso and our weather report. Now, how it works is we ask you to send us a sunrise photo from your part of the country, and you share that on the Expresso Facebook page, and you could contribute to our weather report. Sharon starts us off with, who sent us this golden sunrise from Burrito, where today you can expect some cloudy conditions, reaching a maximum of 28 degrees. Nombulelo Zandile Gama posted this blue skyline from Soweto. Now, today, this part of Johannesburg can experience 26 degrees with partly cloudy conditions. And please remember to share your sunrise photos with us on the Expresso Facebook page. Now, the last time we reported on the level of the Vaal Dam before our holiday break, there were serious concerns as it was at just more than 30%. But a few weeks later, recent rains in the right catchment areas have resulted in a significant uptick in the levels. The Vaal Dam level, in fact, currently stands at 62.6%. It is incredibly difficult to fill the dam, which has a storage capacity of 2.57 billion cubic meters. This is because the dam's shoreline stretches 880 kilometers through 3 provinces, that is Gauteng, the Free State, and Mpumalanga. Its catchment area, which is the area where the rainfall needs to hit in order to make a difference to the dam's capacity, is a massive 38,500 square kilometers. Anyway, the good news is that the region's rainy season is still far from being over, and we'll keep you updated with regards to the Vaal Dam's levels. Let's quickly look at your temperatures. If you are in Polokwane, your low for today is 16, your high 28. Mbombela 19, reaching a high of 29. Partly cloudy conditions in Pretoria with a high of 29, Johannesburg 15, reaching a high of 27. A 74% chance of thunder showers in Mahikeng with a high of 27. Partly cloudy conditions in Klerksdorp today, a low of 18, a high of 28. Thunder showers in Kimberley with a low of 20, a high of 24. Bloemfontein 17, reaching a high of 22. Partly cloudy in Richards Bay today, 20, reaching a high of 28. And rainy conditions can be expected in Pietermaritzburg with a low of 18, a high of 26. It's partly cloudy in Durban with a high of 28. Thunder showers can be expected in Tata today with a low of 18, a high of 22. Rainy conditions in East London with a low of 21, a high of 23. Cradock 18, reaching a high of 29. Rain in Port Elizabeth today, a low of 20 with a high of 24. Partly cloudy conditions in George 19, reaching a high of 23. A hot and sunny day for Cape Town, a low of 18, a high of 27. Worcester 16, reaching a high of 34. Partly cloudy conditions in Sutherland today with a low of 13, a high of 29. And in Uppington, your low for today is 23 and your high 28 degrees Celsius. Well, that's where I leave your weather for now. I'll have another update shortly after 7.
Thank you so much, Zoe, for that weather update. Your sunrise pictures, by the way, are absolutely stunning. So please make sure to keep them flowing on our social media platforms. It seems like generally, you know, in most parts of the country, it's a perfect summer's day.
Absolutely. And we're bringing all that sunshine into the studio as well, because the Ricketts are in the building, everybody.
Woo-woo!
I love calling them that. Like,
Yes,
Kimberly Ricketts, Jared Ricketts is in the building. They're also going to be doing Gospel Monday with us, but also just taking us through their holiday highlights, how they got through as a brand new married couple, serving us goals for 2021 already.
Honestly, that's truly so much excitement happening here on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Make sure you do not go anywhere, because there's so much coming to you in your living room right here on SABC3.
welcome back to it. Your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso. We're live on SABC3 at the start of a brand new week. All the feel good coming your way. Thank you so much for choosing to start the day off with us. Now, a friend of the show, gospel singing sensation Jared Ricketts, he married his best friend and longtime partner Kimberly Wenzel in September last year. It was all the excitement. It was all over social media. It was a buzz. And in December, the pair celebrated their first Christmas together as a married couple. They gave us a glimpse of what it was like on social media. I mean, I saw Jared Ricketts busy doing the garden. It was a lot. But this morning, they join us here in studio to tell us all about it, to tell us all about their Christmas and exactly what it is that they got up to this past holiday. The Ricketts.
I can't
Oh, this is beautiful. What a gift you are. Indeed, really, the gift that keeps on giving.
It truly is. But guys, listen, you've got a new Christmas, the first Christmas that you're celebrating as a couple, of course. How was it? How was the festive? Tell me about it, man.
Very different.
Yeah.
I baked for the first time, so I'm not a baker.
Was it a success?
It was. It was. I did a whole pudding
No
and
one died or choked or anything?
Well, they're still here. They're still here. There's two of us, so he's still here.
Yeah.
But it was also a very different one. So my parents contracted COVID, so we did a drive-by Christmas with both parents, both families. Did a lot of drop-offs. It was very busy from that perspective, but we're just at home. Jared and I, like you said, he was gardening. It was very entertaining to watch.
What a surprise.
She was laughing at me all the time. She was like, I've never seen you do this. What's gotten into you? But, hey,
It was such a surreal thing to see, right? Because that's probably the right word to use. But the thing is about married couples, and I mean, you're not married yet, and I'm not married yet, but they're married now, and so they should know this. As I always wonder if there are any Christmas traditions or any family traditions that you guys take over from your own families as you obviously start your own household. Did you guys bring any of your Christmas traditions into your new Ricketts household?
well, a big thing for us was to create our own traditions. We did bring some aspects of it, but of course this year was very different. So we couldn't spend time with everybody. That's usually a big part of the tradition. But Kim and I decided that, hey, we've got a new home. It's our first Christmas. Let's create our own sense of what Christmas is going to be about.
Like so we did a three-course meal. Both of us chipped in. Jared did some sauce we did a mussel starter, and Jared was all busy stirring us. The kitchen really helped.
She was bougie with the food. She was very bougie with the Christmas lunch. I was like, I'm easy. What are you doing? She's like, no, mussel this and what?
I made a seafood paella.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so listen, you guys will set the bar quite high. Those Christmas.
Set the bar for us.
Set the bar. And on top of it, I believe in what I saw is that, and I'm very proud of this, you actually went hiking as well. And you added to the tradition, which I'm saying tradition specifically because it mustn't just happen over the festival. I want this to be a recurring thing. But tell me about it, guys. You got a little bit of a nature boy feeling in this festive. What happened?
Started with the gardening, and we also did our first beaching adventure. So when we were allowed, we actually Jared bought an umbrella. So Jared, if those who know him, hates outdoors, etc. Got an umbrella. We were beaching. We were in the waves, catching some waves, and also did a lot of walking trails. So we started walking. It's something that we said we'll do every day. And Jared's really good on it in terms of, Kim, let's go. It's time to walk. I think I need more motivation than he does.
You'll get into it. You'll get into it.
Yeah, but it's been really good just to spend time together and to connect as well.
Look at me smiling here.
You would be absolutely pleased at this piece of information.
How can you expect anything more from the world?
Well, as you can see, I've also been, I mean, come on, I'm waiting for the compliment here. I've also been hitting the outdoors a lot, you know. But guys, it's a brand new year. Everywhere you go, you're going to be hearing people talk about their New Year's resolutions, their New Year's mantra, which is what we're spreading throughout the morning on the show here. What can we look forward to from each of you guys? I know that you have big plans as far as music is concerned. You have your psychology degree and all of that, but you also manage a lot of music properties. It sounds like there's a lot coming our way. What can we expect?
So from my side, as you mentioned, fashion. Kim is actually wearing one of my new T-shirts, the Jared Ricketts. Part of a brand we're starting called The Ricketts, where I'll be focusing...
It's a thing.
So I'll be focusing on menswear. Kim is focusing on ladies' wear and other projects thereof. And also with my foundation, the Jared Ricketts Foundation, we're doing a lot more work in the communities.
Stunning.
As you mentioned, Kim is doing her PhD in psychology, childhood development and parenting. And so I'll let you talk about that.
And yeah, we're also doing some more work through the foundation. So over Christmas as well, we donated some toys. We did some feedings to the kids. And with the foundation and with what I'm studying, so because I'm doing parenting, I'm doing some more parenting workshops and equipping parents to deal with what's happening in the world and where education is moving to. So I'm quite excited about that for the year as well. But yeah, lots more music, and I think for us, our mantra is stay expectant, be open to possibilities.
Stay expectant.
The two of you.
I like that.
You amaze me. You amaze me. Wow.
The Ricketts is going to be a word I think it's going to be hot on our tongues this year. And of course, later on in the show too, I mean, Jared, I believe you're performing for us a gospel a banger that's coming up later. So I can't wait to hear some more from you. But guys, thank you so much for giving some time, finding out how your festival's been. And obviously, we wish you nothing but more prosperity, more family, more love, and more walks in nature.
Thank you. Join us. Join us.
The Tubbs will be coming too. I'll bring him.
Come on, let's make a thing of it.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
He'll be at the finish line.
See you there. See you there, guys.
So good to be connecting with the Ricketts again. Now let's connect with you guys at home. You know what will make today even better? If it was your birthdays. Yes, it's time to celebrate some birthdays.
Happy birthday, have a happy birthday. Happy birthday, a very happy birthday to you.
Oh, it is a happy tune. It's also that time for us to wish you a happy birthday. Now, if it is your birthday today, you share it with none other than multi-platinum seller Mary J. Blige, who is turning 50 today.
50
She
years, yeah.
has had an incredible career that began in 1991 when she was signed to Uptown Records and went on to release 13 studio albums, 8 of which have achieved multi-platinum sales, selling over 80 million albums worldwide. And she is now also supporting lead in 50 Cent's spin-off of the original series Power. You go, girl. Happy birthday, Mary J. Blige.
She's just too cool. She just got that swag. She is so, so cool. So happy birthday to her. And now time to celebrate some of your birthdays as well. And this one is dedicated to you by your loved ones. A very happy birthday to Imra Safa, Muhammad Noor and Elwona. Happy birthday, Imra.
Happy birthday.
Maybe, just maybe, because he's here and because we've missed that beautiful voice so much, we can ask Jared to give her a little serenade.
Please,
can you do it for us? Can you do it for us, son?
Yes.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Everybody sing it with me. Happy birthday,
dear Imra Muhammad.
Happy birthday to you.
That had to be the best.
It was, and it was for Imra, but you might have seen your face there as well. And as of this week, what we're going to be doing is broadcasting all of your birthday wishes on Friday. And if you wow us with your videos and those wishes, there is maybe a nice little surprise in store for you. So we want you to send a 15-second video on WhatsApp to 071 640 6551 so that you can wish your loved ones a happy birthday live on this show. We'll give you your 15 seconds of fame. But if you are celebrating...
Cheers to that.
Welcome back. So, of course, we are still in the grips of the COVID-19 pandemic, and it has a huge effect on South African sport, postponing, cancelling so many sporting events across the globe, especially here in South Africa. But we were lucky enough to witness some very exciting fixtures over the past couple of days from the world of rugby. The Currie Cup, of course, concluding round 7 with the Pumas looking fantastic, outmuscling a very youthful Bulls team in Nelspruit. And then our Rugby World Cup winner, France Steyn, it seems to have settled into that fly-half berth, guiding the Cheetahs to a hard-fought win over the Ricketts. But of course, we now know the playoffs, and we'll get into that in just a moment. Sports writer Carl Lewis now joins us via video call to give us all of the details. Carl, a very happy new year, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm very well. Happy New Year to you guys.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you, man. So let's talk about the magic that happened this weekend. An interesting matchup. First up with the rugby, of course, the Super 14 unlocked. It's the Currie Cup match with the Ricketts and the Cheetahs, and I was absolutely blown away, G. Wow.
Yeah, man. The Ricketts were in it, man. They were in it. They were leading at halftime. And this has kind of been the story of their season. They've played some really good rugby. They just haven't been able to convert for those wins. What did you make of that Cheetahs matchup? And how have you been feeling about France Steyn in that fly-half berth?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there, Graham, they always seem to be in the game but can't finish it off, and that's kind of been their season. A really encouraging display. I think they'll be happy to leave on that note or end the competition on that note, but unfortunately they didn't get the win. However, you talk about France Steyn, I think he's been pretty inspirational for the Cheetahs. It's really good to see, even at 33, which is old in rugby.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
Well, weirdly enough, we're the same age. France Steyn and I played each other in rugby at school, so I shouldn't actually be saying that.
Yeah, exactly. Man. What is this?
Yeah.
I was going to ask, what does this mean for the Cheetahs? So much promise, and I keep going back to that first game that we saw back in Super Rugby Unlocked, but the Cheetahs looked like they had the balance. There's so much potential and pace in that back line. What didn't gel for the Cheetahs this season? Why aren't they in the playoffs, do you think?
Well, I think there's a few factors. They lost a lot of players through midway through the season because of the new contracting system. Contracts ended smack bang in the middle. So this really affected the Cheetahs, with some of their players going to opposition, some of their players going overseas. So I think they were the hardest struck. And, it was just unfortunate. They continue to punch above their weight, although they don't have the resources of Western Province, the Sharks, and others. They continue to be competitive. However, I do think the loss of about 4 or 5 players midway during the season, that impacted them. And the big loss of Ruan Pienaar, him, like France Steyn, very experienced, he's played a lot of Springbok tests. I think his loss also was a massive factor for the Cheetahs this year. And it's sad, where they're going to fit into South African rugby landscape once the 4 franchises join the Pro 14. Where are they going to sit? It's an interesting question.
Yeah.
The Pumas, the big boys. Finally, they were able to convert, albeit against a very youthful Bulls-looking team. What did you make of the Pumas' swan song as we move out of the round-robin stage? It's great for this team that's worked so hard and done so well, developed so many young players as well. There were some amazing standout individual performances there, but a great performance from the Pumas to beat the Bulls.
Yes, it's so nice to see the underdog winning and ending their season off on a high, beating the table-topping Bulls. Yes, you mentioned that the Bulls were quite youthful, but I think to get that win is still very significant for Pumas and the Union in Nelspruit. So I'm really happy for them. I wish that the Griquas could have done the same, but I think a lovely ending for them, which has been a tough season, let's be honest, if you look at the log standings.
Yeah, I think just to add to that, just watching that game, it was nice to see the Griquas finally coming to life.
Yeah, man.
Playing some running rugby and actually getting those tries in, which was just good, especially with that challenge that they had for the entire season.
Completely, man. 6 tries in. So now we've got it set. The table is there. The Bulls and Lions give us a nice Yikskate derby and then a coastal derby, Western Province against the Sharks. Does form carry us through? Do we think the Bulls are the out-and-out title favourites, or is it now all out the window and, knockout rugby. How are you feeling about the final stages in the playoffs?
I don't think it's all that cut and dry. Yes, I do think the Bulls should be considered the favourites. They should get into the final and beat the Lions. But who knows, if they face the Western Province in the final, I think Western Province could actually be in the shout, despite not really playing to their potential this whole entire season. So I don't think it's cut and dry. I think it's between the Bulls and Province, to be honest. Although they haven't been good, I still back them.
It's going to be awesome, and of course plenty to chew on with the news that Sia could be moving to the Sharks. I still haven't wrapped my head around that one, but that's a conversation for a later time. All right, Carl, stick around, buddy. Don't move. You can go and recharge your coffee cup. We're going to bring you back in just a moment to talk a little bit of football. Of course, the host of footballing action both locally and of course the FA Cup also giving us some superb matchups. Stay tuned to your Feel Good Breakfast show as our sports writer Carl Lewis will be back to talk us through all of what you might have missed out on in the world of football.
I'll go. I want to be sick.
Oh, he's back.
Move way.
Clover fresh milk.
Made with love by Clover.
From all of that sporting action and the kitchen action at the start of a fresh new year, there's no need to January about budget-beating meals, okay? There's no need for it, I promise you. A Clover Fresh Milk Burrito Bowl is inspired with Moo fresh flavors and just a few budget-friendly ingredients. And Zoe's going to be taking us through it. Zoe, I get excited to be with you in the kitchen.
Oh, I'm loving it because you know what? There's something over this festive season that I really got to enjoy is bowl food. So I bought myself a bunch of like flat bowls and you just like you deconstruct any meal. So that's basically what I'm going to show you how to make is your own burrito bowl. And that's without the burrito wrap. So it's a little bit lighter on the carb side if you're a bit worried about it.
A lot of people are starting to worry about that at this time of the year. Let's be honest, who isn't trying to trim down a little bit? But also I think bowls are really particularly exciting because you can control your portions a lot more than you can with those open plates, right?
And you get to play with the flavors. So I'm going to start off with by making our salsa. So I've got a red onion already diced up. I'm going to add a cup of cherry tomatoes.
Stuns.
We've got some red wine vinegar over there. Let's use every ingredient. A little bit of cumin. As well as a bit of brown sugar, and we're simply just going to mix this together.
Okay.
So Thabiso, while I mix this, you're going to make our sour cream, and we're pumping it out a bit. So we've got some sour cream in the bowl.
All right.
You're going to add some of our lemon zest.
Lemon zest,
a little bit of
to neutralize the flavors of
and
everything.
really to bring the sourness to our sour cream. Some cayenne pepper.
Cayenne pepper. This year, I've made a commitment to myself. I have to learn the different spices and herbs.
Yeah.
I can't be calling cumin cayenne pepper.
No.
Cayenne pepper.
Some of them look similar,
I mean,
so you will be forgiven.
I have to learn these things.
A hint, maybe not all the pepper, just some salt and pepper. There we go for seasoning. And then, of course, our hero ingredient, which is our Clover fresh, our full cream fresh milk that you're going to add a half a cup.
Fantastic. Well, the great thing is that we know that the Clover milk, each litre of Clover milk undergoes 55 quality tests, which means that we know what we're getting here. Thanks, Zoe, because I otherwise would have gone 1 litre of the milk.
No, just half a cup. That's fine.
And then?
That's
and
now you mix it,
Okay,
yes.
thanks, Zoe.
There we go.
All
and
right.
we know that this is also, you know, triple protect, also goes through a double purification process. Obviously, it just gives you every litre, you get superior quality.
Fantastic.
There we go. So mix it up. So that is our sour cream. And then, of course, the fun part about putting your burrito bowl together is actually the bowl. So we've got some rice. If you don't want rice, you can opt for like maybe some quinoa or something. And the great thing about a burrito bowl is you can play around with your protein. So if you want to add some chicken or tuna, it really works great. Or if you just want to stick to grains and pulses, that's also completely up to you.
Great.
So Thabiso, this is avo. We don't eat the skin.
Okay. Well, listen, I must tell you, and I must tell everyone at home, that this entire season of December that we've just come from, I really worked very hard to fight the temptation to eat my avo with the skin. I miss the skin. I do. But I have learned your ways. Thanks so much.
Don't eat it. So the nice thing is you literally just section it into your bowl, and of course you want to play around with the colors. So I'm going to add some shredded lettuce. Of course my hands are clean, so I'm just going to actually use the fingers for that, separating the greens. And then there's something quite nice about using black kidney beans. into your burrito bowl?
For me, it's the colors that stand out. You know, it's true, and we've said this many times before, that you eat with your eyes
You
first,
do eat with
right?
your eyes.
And to see all of these colors sort of come to life in that bowl, that's exciting. It
There
makes me
we
just want to
go.
gobble the whole thing.
So I'm literally just, so you get to play around with your bowl. Oopsie.
Yeah.
There we go. Add a little bit more of this, and we'll add a bit more of our kidney beans, and then we're going to top it off with our salsa. In fact, let's quickly do that. A little bit more of our
Kidney beans.
purple color coming through. There we go. I'm going to ask you to maybe scoop out the rest of our avo and just place it over there for me.
Great.
And then we're going to top it up with our homemade salsa. There we go. And this recipe will be available for you on the Expresso Show website. You can simply just head on over to expressoshow.com. There we go.
I love it.
Do it
Look
neatly.
at that. Oh,
neatly,
look at that.
neatly.
Look
Like
at
you
that.
must keep the sectioning. There we go.
Very particular about your evo, hey?
Yeah, it must look nice.
Yeah.
And then you sprinkle it, you just finish it off with a little bit of coriander.
Stunning. This
There
is
we
really
go.
beautiful. And then, of course, this sauce
Oh yes, we should drizzle that over.
that I worked so hard to make, please.
And you can simply
let's
just
not
drizzle it
forget.
over.
Uh-huh.
There
That
we go.
goes in there. And of course, this has been brought to life using our Clover Fresh milk with Triple Protect, which ensures that you get superior quality with every liter of Clover Fresh milk undergoing double purification and 80 quality tests, a special cooling technology that ensures it's kept at the right temperature, and ultra clean packaging to lock in the freshness. That looks so, so good.
Well,
Zoe.
there we go. Okay, obviously I'm not a food stylist, so this is how it would look in my house, but maybe you can do it a little bit better. You're welcome to try out our burrito bowl, and please, this recipe is available with all of the steps on the Expresso Facebook page and website. Please don't eat the skin. Tappy sore.
I'll go. But one of you said,
Oh, he's back.
move way.
Clover Fresh Milk.
Made with love by Clover.
Only you can make my day.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls. You are live with Expresso. Beautiful Monday morning, start of a brand new week. I think officially the start of the year now.
Yes.
People are kind of up and running, but let's still revel in the amazing time that we had, hopefully with family or friends, or even just on your own, reflecting over this little break that we got. Ours wasn't a long break, but it was proper. It was class, man.
Amazing. I literally marinated myself in the love and the comfort of my family throughout the December lockdown. It was just incredible for me. I do not for one second take it for granted, take family for granted, G. I saw my nieces and nephews, as you can see how tall they are. They're literally taller than me. She's 14 and she's starting grade 8 this year.
That's
Imagine, you know,
crazy.
they are just so beautiful. They are so grown and they're just so wholesome. And they gave me everything that I needed to rejuvenate and to reflect back on how far we've come as a unit and where we are during this pandemic and how, you know, we want to move forward. Look at my mommy and my sister. This is literally the one activity that we did because we're so locked in the house, obviously, but everything was just amazing.
But wasn't it like that? Like the previous lockdown was just so, we were unprepared for that. And this one, it was almost like, okay, fine. Yeah, bring it. It's all good. We will just connect and be there with family and friends. But I'm so glad that you got to spend time and really savor those relationships, because this year is going to be a busy one. Despite all of our pressures, I have a feeling this is going to be the year of abundance.
Just look at that. We were welcoming in 2021 with non-alcoholic champagne.
You weren't alone, girl.
Just the cutest thing, literally amazing. They were both like, we also want to cheers in the new year. So we're like, okay, cool, let's do it. Why not? It was just wonderful to see how they've grown, and it's just, my heart is just jumping up and down, to be honest.
I'm so glad, man. I think family was at the heart of everything for everyone at the moment. Obviously for me, obviously Lindsay's folks were out and they just managed to make so many things to be grateful for, like with all the travel bans and all the issues around travel, they just made it out. And not having seen her mom in, I think, a year was obviously taking a huge toll. And they hadn't met our baby. And it was, so for us, it's just been purely about that. So nice to have Lindsay's dad around, to have another guy to watch football with. Literally every day, being able to watch football. I think I didn't realize how much football I'd subjected my poor family to. Now that I've had a willing partner, but you know, so Georgia started crawling now, and she's standing, and so many milestones for them to be a part of. Lindsay's best mates were out as well. We were able to get in a little bit of kind of revelry and fun before lockdown hit, and then it was just about, I mean, we were camping in the garden. We just really, it was all about family. So I think for me, getting the time with my kids now that I've had over these last few weeks was just everything I needed to set the tone for this year. It's motivated me so much. So I feel grateful, despite everything that's going on in the world. There's kind of this positivity, which I think all of us needed to get back, man.
I mean, we need pictures, G. We need pictures, videos of her crawling, of Jack.
You know, the weird thing is, and I was thinking about that now when my poor producer was like, do you have any pictures? And I was like, you know what? I didn't post anything. I had a social media shutdown for this period, which was also really good for me. I mean, we'll get back into that now. It's a big part of our lives, but I actually just disconnected from everything like that. So I promise you, I'll feed some stuff into my social media platforms. But I've got to say, to my immediate family, to my mom, to my sister, to Lindsay's folks, to my beautiful kids, thank you so much for giving me the most amazing festive season. It really was so special.
That's so precious, G. Oh, I love that.
So many beautiful highlights, but we are back, of course, and we're back here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, but we are going to be reminiscing with all those highlights and how we celebrated our festive season and this celebration that we had. But what better way to start our morning with Gospel Mondays, and of course with a perfect song, Break Every Chain. It stopped the Billboard charts, been sung by Israel all over, and today our very own Jared Ricketts is here to take it away for us. So Jared, the Break Every Chain, take it away.
Thank you. I want to dedicate this to anyone out there who needs some upliftment, some inspiration. You're experiencing some sorrow, some pain, and this is for you. So whatever you're feeling right now, I want you to call out to Jesus. And I'll tell you why now. There is power in the name of Jesus. There is power, in the name of Jesus. There is power, in the name of Jesus, to break every chain, break every chain, oh break every chain. To break every chain, break every chain, oh break every chain. There is power, oh in the name of Jesus. There is power, oh in the name of Jesus. There is power in the name of Jesus.
to break every chain, break every chain, oh break every chain, to break every chain, break every chain, break every chain. There's an army rising up. Oh, there's an army rising up. There's an army rising up to break every chain, break every chain, break every chain, to break every chain, break every chain, oh break every chain. And I declare every illness, all your doubt, all your sorrow will be restored in His name. And all the things you're feeling right now will be taken away. Every chain will break, every chain will break. 'Cause I feel the chains falling. Oh, I hear the chains falling. Of every fear, every doubt, I feel the chains falling. You'll break every chain, break every chain, oh break every chain. There is power, oh in the name of Jesus.
Oh, but there is power in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Jared Ricketts, break every chain. He's still going to be staying with us for Gospel Mondays, but that was beautiful. We'll see you after this. Amen, brother.
Amen, my sister.
Oh, you can make my day.
Here's to you, can't work from home workers. Bo Terminator, cause every meeting key, I'll be back. The mask forgetting shoppers. Hi. And you, who go the extra mile instead of keeping just 1.5 meters. To you who opened your doors again, we take our hats off. Nina, who kept us moving 100%. And of course, they're no Mayini general dealers. You might not be essential workers, Mara, you too played an essential role in keeping Mzansi working. And that's why we're giving you a chance to win your share of 5 million rand. Join Nedbank today.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso after a beautiful Gospel Monday performance. We'll bring you another one of those in just a while. But let's get into a bit of football now. Carl Lewis joins us again to talk all through the weekend's action when it comes to the PSL. Things really heating up. I think Sundowns still kind of the out-and-out favourites to win at this stage. And then, of course, the FA Cup throwing some great cup action, some David and Goliath scenarios, but a couple of good wins for the top of the table. And, I mean, we'll get back into the English Premier League, but clearly the top sides in the Premier League playing a really high standard of football at the moment. But let's start back home. Let's start with Stellenbosch FC Black Leopards kicking us off. How are you feeling about the weekend's results, my friend? Some great action in the PSL, Carl.
Yeah, I think obviously you mentioned Sundowns, the clear favourites for the league. They notched up another good-looking win, 2-0 win. And I think they clear now at the top of the table. The second place Morocco Swallows, the 1-1 draw with Orlando Pirates, that was a very good game in they call it the original Soweto derby. However, the refereeing decisions, I think some Pirates fans can really feel the standard was just not good enough. There was a clear penalty not given with 15 minutes to go. So I think Pirates fans will be aggrieved coming from the weekend. And Chiefs, another loss for Gavin Hunt. I just can't, honestly, as a sports reporter, a fan, I cannot explain what is going on at Chiefs. I can't believe a Gavin Hunt side is struggling this much. So very intriguing storylines in the domestic league.
Yeah, look, Carl, you mentioned the fact that with Kaizer Chiefs struggling, and I happened to watch that game as well as the Pirates game, but Maritzburg United did put on a decent performance, to be very honest with you. I mean, it seems as though they just capitalized on I wouldn't say a poor performance by the Chiefs. I can't critique them on how bad the game was. It just seemed like Maritzburg on the day were a little bit better.
Yeah. I think that's the thing about Maritzburg and why probably their fans are so frustrated, because they have the ability to play as a top 8, top 6 side, and they showed it again on Saturday. Like you said, they were full value for the 3 points. So they definitely have the potential. But for Chiefs, some of they still have quality players, although they had that transfer ban, so they weren't allowed to buy any players. But they still had a squad that came second last year. However, they just don't seem to be gelling under Gavin Hunt, and I do feel for Hunt. He's one of our best ever coaches from South Africa, and it's not an easy job at Kaizer Chiefs, so I'm sure the pressure is on. Can he keep his job till the end of the season? That will be, I think, something to look out for.
If Gav can't do it, who can? Maybe you're a Chiefs supporter out there. Maybe you've got that golden fleece for us. 110-552 021 110-552. Please phone us right now and tell us what is going on at Naturena. I mean, if Gavin Hunt can't do it, who in this country can do it? Let's talk about Benny Mac and Amazulu. Bloem Celtic, we know, a resurgent side of late. They've been playing really good football. Amazulu are looking pretty good since the turn of the tide.
Yes, I think Amazulu, their new owners have come in, and they seem to mean business. They said from the start, we're looking to take the Amazulu brand to the next level. And I think the signing of Benny McCarthy is a statement of that.
Yeah.
And plus the transfer business they did was really excellent. Luvo Mamela from Orlando Pirates, he's been superb for them. Augustine Malenga, also from Orlando Pirates. So I think there's something potentially brewing at Amazulu. I don't want to speak too soon because South African sides are known for the inconsistency. So I don't want to put money on them just yet. But there is certainly something brewing, and they're playing beautiful football, which is something that Cape Town City did under Benny McCarthy, and he's known for that type of football. So keep an eye on Amazulu. They're definitely someone to watch out for.
Yeah, keep an eye on them, and I think keep an eye on Swallows. Love the fact that they are still second on the log at the moment at this stage of the season. Let's hop across the pond and get into some of our FA Cup. We love this kind of cup action because it's David and Goliath scenarios all over. I mean, you had a situation, Marine, our 7th tier football team. Okay, and this is where COVID is so heartbreaking because there was a chance that those players who all have full-time jobs, their coach has a full-time job working for the railway company, they could have played at the Spurs Stadium, they could have gotten those takings, but it was not meant to be. But a couple of great matchups. Already now we saw some great performances, but the top teams in the Premier League in this crazy Premier League season that we are being treated to, obviously with the shortened break, they've got to win their games now, and they've got to, I think everyone's looking for cup glory as well as league potential at the moment. But what stood out for you in the FA Cup this weekend?
Well, I think I have to start with the last game of the FA Cup weekend. You know, our very own Percy Tau made his first appearance, his debut for Brighton last night. They won via penalties, but he came on with about 20 minutes to go. So he actually played about 50 minutes, including extra time. And, you know, the commentators were salivating over his performance. He had some beautiful touches, and he was definitely one of Brighton's most creative players. So I think we're going to finally see, or once again see, a South African playing or getting lots of minutes in the Premier League. So I think that was the biggest storyline for me personally. But other than that, you know, the big teams, they just did what they needed to do. Liverpool beating under 23 side, basically. Yeah. So I think no real hiccups. The big David and Goliath story is Crawley Town. They beat Leeds 3-0. And what is so crazy is that a substitute, this reality show TV star called Mark Wright, he made an appearance for Crawley, and I was just like, you are the only way is Essex. You're a reality TV star. Now you play against Leeds.
It's just so, it's that kind of year, man. I think football is going to throw us many more surprises. I think the most heartbreaking for me, obviously, having the Geordies in town at the moment, the fact that Newcastle played some really good football to hold Arsenal till extra time, turn around for a second, and then, of course, Arsenal sneaking through, getting the 2-0 winner over there. But I think a lot of impetus put on Carabao Cup action, on FA Cup action. Obviously, the teams being put under huge amounts of pressure with this shortened, this bottleneck of a season that we're being treated to. But Carl, we love connecting with you, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Once again, wishing you nothing but blessings and fantastic live sport for 2021. We're going to savor every second of it. And that number to write down for the next time we open the lines for you, 021 110 5552. We are looking for super fans out there. You can keep phoning. Maybe we'll come back and we'll get some word from Kaizer Chiefs on what's going on, guys. What is going on?
Well, it's almost 7 o'clock. Let's touch on your national headlines. As today, the Basic Education Department is gearing up for week 2 of matric exam marking. Marking got off to a difficult start in some places last week after hundreds of markers pulled out due to fears of COVID infections. Although there are strict distancing protocols in place at assessment centres, 170 assessors tested positive during the first week of marking. The department's Director General, Mzima Mzweli, said this shouldn't affect progress as all provinces have made provision for standby assessors. And the Gauteng Department of Health says there has been a sharp increase in the number of COVID-19 patients at the Steve Biko Academic Hospital in Pretoria. Pictures on social media show a packed hospital with some patients even on the hospital roof. And in the Eastern Cape, the number of COVID-19 deaths has continued to rise at an alarming rate in the past 24 hours. 85 deaths were reported, putting the provincial death toll at 8,600. Authorities say despite the alarming death rate, ignorance remains prevalent. And we now move beyond our own borders, where Pope Francis and Queen Elizabeth became the latest high-profile figures to join the global vaccination campaign against the coronavirus. As the UK reported, it has surpassed more than 3 million cases since the pandemic began more than a year ago. Some 1.9 million people worldwide have now succumbed to the virus, with new variants adding to soaring cases and prompting the reintroduction of restrictions on movements across the globe. Pope Francis urged people to be vaccinated, calling opposition to the jab suicidal denial. And law enforcement officers in the Gambia have discovered nearly 3 tons of cocaine in a salt shipment from Ecuador. It's the largest ever seizure in the history of the tiny West African country, which is a poor nation of some 2 million people. Officers searching a container in the port of the capital, Banjul, found 118 bags of the illegal white powder, which were labeled as industrial salt. The seizure is worth some $88.5 million. And now some news from the world of entertainment. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have quit social media after growing disillusioned by the hate they have encountered on sites such as Facebook and Twitter, a UK newspaper reported yesterday. The people were rejecting social media in both a personal and professional capacity as part of their progressive role in the United States, the newspaper said. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex, who moved to California last year after abruptly resigning from the British royal duties, have previously had prominent presence online. They amassed more than 10 million Instagram followers to their Sussex royal account while they were working royals. But the couple have previously complained about the treatment dished out to them on social media, as well as in the British media. Meghan described past trolling of her as almost unsurvivable, while Harry issued an unprecedented statement in 2016 denouncing the racial undertones of comment pieces and the sexism and racism on social media trolls. Well, that's where we leave your morning headlines. I'll have a final look at your news headlines at 8 o'clock.
Thanks so much, Joe. Let's get back into our weekend rugby action, get into some of those results. The Currie Cup concluded round 7 this weekend with wins for the Cheetahs and the Pumas. Pumas recording a very impressive 44-14 win over a very youthful Bulls side in Nelspruit yesterday. Then on Saturday, Rugby World Cup winner France Steyn, very much shifting into that fly-half berth, now guided the Cheetahs to a hard-fought win over the Ricketts in Kimberley. So the match between the Western Province team and the Sharks, scheduled to take place in Cape Town, was cancelled in line with COVID-19 protocols. So the Bulls remain at the top of the standings following the round-robin phase. That means they'll face the Lions in the playoffs, with the winless Ricketts now sitting at the bottom of the log. And of course, Western Province and the Sharks will take part in that other playoff fixture. Moving to football in the PSL this weekend, defending champions Mamelodi Sundowns, they beat Baraka FC 2-0 to remain top of the standings with a 3-point gap. Last season's runners-up Kaizer Chiefs, they suffered a 2-0 defeat at the hands of Maritzburg United on Saturday. Then yesterday, Orlando Pirates were held to a 1-1 draw against Swallows FC. It also ended 1 apiece for Bloem Celtic and Amazulu. And the Premier Soccer League action will continue this coming Wednesday. Staying with football, FA Cup action continued as well over the weekend with big victories for those top English Premier League teams. Defending Premier League champions Liverpool, they thrashed Aston Villa 4-1. Chelsea beat Morecambe 4-0. Man City beat Birmingham 3-0. And then last night, Tottenham Hotspur, they claimed an impressive 5-0 win with their juniors. That was over 7th tier team Marine. Then in FA Cup holders at the moment, Arsenal, they beat Newcastle United 2-0 in a very hard-fought match that needed extra time. And Man United, they edged out Watford 1-0. Then bringing it back home for cricket, the Dolphins, they secured their spot in the Momentum One Day Cup semi-finals after recording a 53-run victory over the Knights at the Senvest Park in Potchefstroom yesterday. The Dolphins reaching 290 for 8 with the man of the match, Robbie Freiling. He picked up 2 wickets for just 14 runs, then posted 37 from 18 deliveries. This was the second consecutive victory for the Dolphins, who also beat the Titans by 76 runs in the competition. And then moving to the international front, India closed day 4 of their 3rd test against hosts Australia on 98 for 2, requiring a further 309 runs to win at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Australia resuming the day on 103 for 2 before declaring on 312 for 6. The 4-match series is currently level on 1-1, really turning into a battle royale. That final test match between Australia and India will start on Friday the 15th of January in Brisbane. That's where we leave our sporting headlines for now. Let's take another look at some of your sunrise pictures.
And we love receiving those, so please continue to share your sunrise photos on the Expresso Facebook page. And we want to jump straight into a very interesting story for you this morning. Now, the road and rail and air travel has been disrupted. This is in Spain, as Storm Filomena has blanketed many regions in the country in heavy snow, and at least 4 deaths have been reported so far. Filomena is the most intense storm in the last 50 years, and Madrid, one of the worst affected areas, has seen 20 centimeters of snow in the last 24 hours. The Spanish government yesterday sent convoys carrying COVID-19 vaccine and food supplies to areas cut off by the storm. Forecasters have warned of more dangerous conditions in the coming days, with temperatures expected to fall up to -10 this week, and the prospect of snow turning to ice and damaged trees falling. Well, we'll keep you updated with regards to that, but let's quickly take a look at your temperatures here in South Africa. If you're on Polokwane, expect a low of 16 with a high of 27. Mbombela, partly cloudy with a high of 29. Pretoria, 16, reaching a high of 29. Johannesburg, 15 with a high of 27. 74% chance of thunder showers in Mahikeng with a high of 27. Partly cloudy in Klerksdorp today with a high of 28. Thunder showers can be expected in Kimberley, reaching a high of 24. And some thunder showers in Bloemfontein, 17 with a high of 22. If you're in Richards Bay, 20 is your minimum, 28 your maximum. Rain can be expected in Pietermaritzburg, 18 reaching a high of 26. Durban, 23 reaching a high of 28. Thunder showers in Mthatha today with a high of 22. Rainy conditions in East London, a low of 21 with a high of 23. Thunder showers can be expected in Cradock with a low of 18, a high of 29. Port Elizabeth, wet conditions with a low of 20, a high of 24. And George, 19, reaching a high of 23. It is sunny in Cape Town with a low of 18, a high of 27. Worcester, a low of 16, reaching a high of 34. If you're in Sutherland, expect a low of 13 with a high of 29. And in Uppington, some thunder showers can be expected with a low of 23 and a high of 28 degrees Celsius. Well, that's where we leave your weather for now. If you have a beautiful sunrise photo that you would love to share with us on your Feel Good Breakfast show, simply share it on the Expresso Show Facebook page.
Share it with us, of course, while we share with you our 2021 mantra. And you heard on the show, we're giving you all the advice, all the tips and everything to get this year going. And we found out from you as well what your 2020 mantra was and what the rest of Mzansi is going to be getting up to this year. So let's find out what's happening. You guys came in through big and large, of course. And first up, we had...
on social media.
Rena,
yeah.
I'll kick it off. So Rena Ramchanda says, good morning. 2021 mantra is to keep moving with positive thoughts, putting it out there. Everything
I love it.
Love it.
We need that this year, right? We need to sort of get over the negative cloud of 2020 and look at all the positive stuff that we can take out of the lessons of 2020. I love that, Rena.
Share positivity throughout your community, your workspaces. Everyone is going through a lot. Ure Lebohile says, good morning. 2021 mantra, going out and look for a job.
Secure the bag.
It's time for us
Secure
to
the
change
bag.
our
Secure the bag.
realities. If you feel like this is your time, this is your year, I know that looking for a job is a thing and a half. So good luck to you with that.
Definitely. Now we've got Tricia Paramore saying mantra 2021 will be to new beginnings, positive mindsets, and putting my goals into action. Yes. And I love every day like there is no tomorrow, and also spending more time with my family and making sure we stay in good health. Tricia, you've got it going on. I love every single thing that you're mentioning there. That's a beautiful year ahead.
And then we got our final one here from Laverne Coetzee, who says 2021 mantra that will keep me going is to keep on having faith and be kind. I will love everyone. I'll do my best to help anyone in need. In brackets there, she says, if I can afford. Hashtag Expresso Show. I love it.
It's all about your mindset, where your mind is. If you, you know, it's all about... It's a thought that counts. Where your mind is and being compassionate. That's what 2021 is all about. Positivity and compassion.
Faith. Keep strong. Keep yourself rooted in faith. Be kind. Love everyone. I love that. Laverne, all of those beautiful words that you guys have got through to us on our Expresso Facebook page, Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. Please do keep them coming through. We are going through each and every single one of them. I'm sure you're inspiring so many others of our followers as well on Facebook who take a look at your mantra and maybe find some inspiration in that.
Oh, you can make my
Are you ready for a sizzling summer holiday in Mzansi? Your best holiday is yet to come when you book at any participating Marriott branded hotel. Redefine your holiday with a beach break, nature retreat, or a road trip adventure. With the Marriott Summer Holiday offer, you can enjoy 25% off standard hotel rates, including free breakfast if you're a Marriott Bonvoy member and 15% if you're a non-Bonvoy member. Book on Marriott.com for the best rates guaranteed.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes it is. Your feel-good breakfast show. It's Expresso. We're live right here on SABC3 at the start of a brand new week. But yes, all of the excitement, so many people going back to work today. Yes. The start indeed of a brand new working year for so many people across the country. Time for us now though to take a look at some celebrities. Look at what some of our favorite celebrities have been up to during the holidays.
During the holidays, so much has happened, but we're going to start off on the international stage. Cardi B joins the long list of A-list celebrities to be dressed by Gert-Johan Coetzee. Yes, celebrating her husband Offset's 29th birthday, Cardi was spotted wearing a brown beaded skirt and corset. And if her Instagram post is anything to go by, she is clearly very impressed with his work. Absolutely stunning. Wow. Now, he was quoted saying, dressing all these international stars is completely beautiful for the South African story, because it shows you that it's not just the Trevor Noahs and the Zoziminis who can make it internationally, by fashion designers as well. And that's very true, Uncle Tabsy. I think we often have a linear understanding of who makes it globally, you know? Also, Zimini, Trevor Noah, that's the common story that we see. But Elon Musk, technology will take you there, my sweetie.
Can be in Pretoria today and be on the global stage tomorrow.
Exactly, you know, so this is just a beautiful, bold statement made by Gert-Johan Coetzee. Shout outs to you, we are proud.
I love it. Gert-Johan Coetzee. Speaking of Zozibini Tunzi, who you mentioned, we know that it seems like she really did enjoy a blissful holiday in sunny South Africa. Take a look at that. She is taking in the sun.
Serving us looks, darling.
Giving us looks, giving us a skin kissed by the African sun, off duty from being Miss Universe. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. She visited her hometown of Tsolo out in the Eastern Cape in December. And I mean, we were living for it. I mean, take a look at that, radiant as ever. And she has now been seen in the mother city, Cape Town, taking on adventures. I mean,
just look at that body, okay?
Look! Keeping it cool by the pool, going to the Atlantis dunes, bashing those dunes like a magical being of the universe.
Okay, Uncle Tabsy, you've been passionate about that, but I think you'll be proud to learn that Zozibini Tunzi is currently the second longest running Miss Universe.
What does that mean?
Hey, the first longest running Miss Universe, like she ran over the 1 year term. So now her 1 year should be technically over, but she's still the current reigning Miss Universe. The girl is just doing the thing.
Listen, I'll just say, keep Zozie, keep Zozie. Let's end it, just keep Zozie. Back to some local news. Rachel Kolisi. Now, while some holidays may have been filled with activities, others not so much. Rachel Kolisi, wife to Sia Kolisi, unfortunately contracted COVID-19 these past holidays, with 2 other family members having tested positive too. That's not good news. She did post this image captioned, "I actually spent the day in the pool and assumed I had a sinus infection. I realized I couldn't smell anything, so went straight into isolation until I received my positive result." I mean, that is scary, because that's the thing about COVID, is that you think sometimes that's a sinus infection. It's very easy to take it very lightly and carry on with your life as you would, hang out with all of your friends as you would. But it's important to note that we are living in such interesting times. What you might think is sinus infections could easily be a positive case of COVID. So please do take that seriously.
And just on that note, Uncle Tabsy, I actually followed her on social media. I think it was Sia Kolisi actually who posted a video of them delivering her food and they're having a socially distanced lunch.
You see.
That's what COVID is doing, you know? We never really get into how it affects the family unit, but at the same time, I suppose it strengthens it if you are all supportive of each other.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's clear to see that this can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
It can happen to anyone. So let's take that very, very seriously. And I think it's good to have seen celebrities come out who have tested positive during this time, saying that they've tested positive for COVID-19, because it shows that even the most socially distanced person is susceptible. So please, let's continue to fight this thing. But that's where we leave it in terms of where our celebrities have been and what they have been up to during the holidays in December/Jan. Maybe you've seen some interesting celebrity stories.
Yes.
Share those with us on our Facebook page, Expresso Morning Show SABC3.
We are now very pleased to be joined in studio, sort of, via video this morning by Jonathan Shapiro, otherwise known as Zapiro, South Africa's most celebrated and, yes, controversial cartoonist. He is brilliant. He is a national treasure, and his latest collection of satirical work is out. It's called Do the Macarona. Jonathan, a very warm welcome. How are you, sir?
Well, thanks. And yourselves?
Oh, so good to have you in the studio.
Man.
Jonathan,
Very,
we've got
very
to ask you though, man. I mean, it's been such a crazy time. How have you been? How have you been coping?
Personally, I haven't had the greatest lockdown, but, when I think about my circumstances compared to so many other people, I kind of don't want to complain, because I think people have, across the world, and particularly in South Africa, have had a really, really rough time. And what COVID has done is it's actually exacerbated, it's increased the divisions that are already in every society, particularly unequal societies like ours. So I don't want to complain too much. I haven't enjoyed it so much. What I have enjoyed doing is the cartoons, because there's so much fantastic material that I want to communicate about, and some of it I think is worth saying.
Definitely. We know that you are able to cut through the clutter and really present an image of the society that, yes, allows us to laugh, but also allows us to think very critically. COVID-19 aside, if we are even capable of being able to do that, what are some of the other topics or references that have popped up in your 2020 annual collection?
First of all, I would say that when you talk about other topics, it's almost as if COVID has overwhelmed everything, so that there's COVID, and then there are related things, like, for example, fake news, which is an important thing any time and any year, but has become massively important again this year, even more than ever. So I'd say I've looked at fake news for itself and in relation to COVID. I've looked at corruption, as I always do, but of course there's been massive corruption related to COVID. So just generally running from before, there were things like the Zondo Commission inquiring into state capture. I mean, that's been huge. And of course, the two major factions in the ANC, I always say, not that the one is so brilliant, but the other one, the Ace Magashule, which still has the kind of Zuma thing. And I've looked at that a lot. I've looked at populist leaders around the world, again, also in relation to COVID. People like Donald Trump, Bolsonaro in Brazil, Modi in India. I've looked at that and how badly that's affected people across the world. And you've got other places that are interestingly led by women, where things have been a lot better. New Zealand among them, and sport comes into it every now and then. The book almost begins with with our fantastic World Cup win, which seems like so long ago.
It does.
But it was just a year ago.
Jonathan, look, you're mentioning all these, let's call it events, and for you as an artist, you're fueled by the external. And if I look at just this past year in 2020, and there's been so much material, there's been so much that's happened, how on earth do you then decide to kind of create a focus, and what do you then focus on in order to kind of bring that art to life and create that thought-provoking art that you do?
That is very difficult. I used to do 6 cartoons a week. It was just like one after the other, and those choices weren't as hard. Now that I do 3, I do have to think. I think conceptually, what am I trying to say? I'm not trying to think of jokes. I'm not trying to think of all that. I'm trying to think what am I going to say, and then how to say it. And then that's the magic of cartooning. Then you start thinking, well, how am I going to say it? Is it with pop culture? Is it with a parody of an advert or a movie? Is it with a kind of a comic strip thing with a little twist at the end? Is it a sitcom? Is it conceptual? Once I get working with the material, I just love that process. And then sometimes the cartoons transcend what I've started out with and become, you've got almost 2 things. It looks like it's a it's a cartoon about a funny advert, and it turns out to be about the Zondo Commission or whatever that is. Yeah.
And I'm sure it's quite cathartic as well, and we need that this year just to be able to process. Sometimes it might turn itself, or you might lend on a famous musical meme that had the whole world gripped. And I understand for an introverted artist, you're quite an extrovert when it comes to singing. I'm going to ask you now if you can give us an example of one of the pieces, and please give us a bit of an exploration behind the macarona.
Okay, well, here we go. This is the cartoon that I'm talking about, and it is the one that really kind of kicked off the thing for me. So I'll talk about it for a second and say that right at the beginning of the pandemic, we didn't really, I don't think we understood what it was going to be. I don't think anyone really across the world knew just what was coming. There were people who understood what a pandemic would be, and there are a lot of conspiracy theories about those kind of people like Bill Gates and Dr. Fauci and Dr. Karim here in South Africa. People say, well, how did they know exactly what was going to happen? And then they start like playing the conspiracy theories. They knew what would happen if a real pandemic would happen. And when at the beginning, I was doing cartoons that were about other things, and then they just sort of brought the pandemic in as a kind of a theme, right? Like I'd done with SARS and MERS and Ebola and other things. But suddenly this became a pandemic, and I knew I had to do something to try and encapsulate the whole thing. You'll notice there are no masks in this one because masks were only mandated later. But I was trying to do, right at the beginning, in March, what was this all about? So here we go.
Give it a crack.
It's going viral. The macarona. Keep your social distance around about a meter. Don't shake hands, use the elbow or the feet. Avoid big crowds, you should rather be alone. Ay, macarona. Sneeze into your elbow, essential hygiene. If you're symptomatic, maybe self-quarantine. It's all gone global from Beijing to Barcelona. Ay, macarona. Clean hands off. And sanitizer, listen to official medical advisor. Ignore fake news when it dings on your phone. I'm a corona. Conspiracy, schism, and religious polemic. It's not God's fury, it's a viral pandemic. I'm a corona.
We don't expect anything less than controversy from you, my friend, even in a breakfast TV setting. That is quite brilliant, and you've made us laugh, and I think ultimately we as South Africans have learned to laugh at ourselves during the craziest of times. So thank you so much for allowing us to do that, but also for just shining a light, an unwavering light on areas of our society that really do need to be highlighted and for us to think, as I said earlier, critically about. So all the best for this particular one. I'm sure it's going to be as successful as all of your other iterations. We really do appreciate your time this morning and all of the effort that you've put into all of the body of work. I meant what I said earlier. You are a national treasure, my friend. So thank you so much for sharing this time and a bit of hip-shaking macarona with us this morning. We really do appreciate it.
Great. Thanks so much for having me. I enjoyed it.
What a legend.
He is a living legend, man. He's a living legend.
Oh, but 2020 was a year that has gone down in the history books for sure. And whatever happens in 2021, I'm sure we'll be ready to capture it with just the right amount of hilarity and wit.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is Expresso. It is also the 11th of January, and let's see who is celebrating their birthday today.
Happy birthday, have a happy birthday. Happy birthday, a very happy birthday to you.
Oh yes, indeed. Give me a shimmy over there. It is that time of the day where we get to wish you a very happy birthday. And we're going to kick it off with Brinley, Helmi, Matt, and Mayor Mutlang. Take a look at these clips sent in by your loved ones.
Hey, I just want to say happy birthday to my baby, Brinley, Helmi. I hope you enjoy your day and I love, love, love you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Daddy. Happy birthday to you.
Cool, thank you guys.
I'm going to sing for a happy birthday song for her today. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Oh, happy birthday. The celebrations are certainly high, and of course, we will be doing things a little bit differently. Come this Friday, we will be celebrating all of your birthdays. So if you have a video that wows us, who knows, it might be a little bit of a surprise for you, but do continue to send in your 15-second videos on our WhatsApp line, which is 071-640-6551, so you can wish your loved ones a happy birthday live on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
And who knows, we might even just give them a ring to brighten up their day and make it a happy, happy birthday. From all of us here, happy birthday.
A beautiful happy birthday from the Expresso family to you if you are celebrating today. Now, I know that we are still dealing with a global pandemic that has taken so many lives, so many family members, so many friends, so many colleagues, and we continue to fight that battle of COVID-19. Jared Ricketts is here to inspire, and here he is right now for some words of motivation to bring us back up to continue fighting in 2021 with the song titled Going Up Yonder. Take it away.
If anybody asks you where I am going, where I am going soon. So if you wanna know where I am going, where I am going someday soon. I'm going up yonder. Hey, I'm going up yonder. Said I'm going up yonder to be with my Lord. Come on. We can take the pain and all the heartache that it brings. We've got the comfort in knowing we'll be going home soon. 'Cause God gave me grace, and we gon' run this COVID race. And soon we gonna see our Savior face to face. Tell them we're going up yonder. Hey, we're going up yonder. I said we're going up yonder to be with our Lord. We're going up yonder. Said we're going up yonder. We're going up yonder to be with our Lord. Have no fear. Ha. If anybody asks you, oh, where you are going, where are you going? Where are you going to? So if you want to know, so where I am going, where I am going, where am I going to? Oh, you gotta tell them I'm going up yonder. Said I'm going up yonder. I'm going up yonder to be with my Lord. I'm going up yonder. Take it down. I'm going up yonder. I'm going up yonder to be with my Lord. Amen.
Yes! Woo-hoo!
can make my day.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Hey, welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. If your goals are perhaps like mine for 2021 to spend more time in the kitchen, you have tuned into the right show because Chef Clem, he is in studio. And when it comes to thinking of breakfast ideas, there's no denying that a substantial breakfast helps start your day off properly. But sometimes it's hard not to default to the toast every single morning. So Chef Clem, he is in studio to share this amazing carb-conscious breakfast that will really happily get you to hop out of bed every single morning. And what's great is this is something you can make on a Sunday evening and you will have breakfast sorted for the next couple of days. And the added bonus, they are really a great mid-afternoon snack too. I mean, I'm all for the afternoon snacks.
Absolutely.
And I love breakfast. It's my favorite meal of the day.
Being successful at breakfast is all about the preparation. You have no time in the morning to be running around doing your mise en place and getting things together. Do everything the night before. And this one is so easy. It's easy to prepare for and easy to bake.
Okay.
We're gonna bake it, yeah.
And I also love something you can make in advance, so it's not constantly dirtying the pan. You can make a few now and it will last you a couple of days.
I mean, I'm gonna be very honest, I don't like doing dishes. It's just like the, so what I do is the muffin tin works really well, but a big pan works really well as well. So you can do like a bigger version and cut like almost like a little quiche out of them.
Okay.
You can see they basically look like a little crustless quiche, and that's why they work so well as like a carb-conscious like
muffin.
Because muffin,
yes.
Absolutely. This morning driving to work, there was so many people on the road running, and like I was like, look at you being your best 2021 self, and I was like, you know what? People are looking for that inspiration right now. So this is definitely one.
And we want to make it easy for them. So what do we start with? I see you have your kale already in the little muffin tin.
So I like kale because out of all the green veggies, they kind of hold their texture when you bake with them, when you cook with them, but you could use any other leafy greens. Can you give me some examples? Let me tell you on the spot.
Spinach,
yes.
Some rockets.
Yes, okay, you can cook rocket,
I wouldn't do lettuce though, because it's too watery.
No, don't do lettuce. Okay, the one thing about kale is it's got this very hardy rib, okay?
Yeah.
These are really great in stir fries, but for what we're using it today, like, no. So when you do simply, you can either just do that.
Oh, there we go, just use the leaves.
And then keep, like I say, keep these little green parts, and then these tempura'd, oh my goodness, are so good, so don't waste that. And then instead of just chopping, because we just tear it. It's so simple.
There we go.
Just tear it and put it in there. And like I said, I'd like your alternatives to what other greens you could use, and they work really, really well. Then, next thing, we're going to go with some chorizo. And now I've taken out so much kale, now I don't know what to do with it. Okay, chorizo's really...
Pass it to me, pop it in the bowl.
Thank you, Zoe.
There we go, I'll be your assistant.
Thank you. Chorizo's great. You don't have to use meat in this one. It's absolutely loved because you're going to get your protein coming through from your ricotta cheese. Okay. But if you want to just like amp it up, a little bit of chorizo, smoked chicken in this one is amazing.
And if you want to be healthy, a little bit of turkey.
Wow, do you have turkey left over from Christmas?
No, but you can buy those ready-made slices from Woolies.
Absolutely, yes. And you know what I'm obsessed with now? They're duck bacon.
I haven't tried that, but I've seen it in the store.
It's so good. Okay, so take your chorizo. You can keep them into like chunky slices, or you can really like chop them into tiny little squares. I really want to like see and taste the chorizo when I'm cooking it. Also, those oils that are inside the chorizo with all those spices, those are going to start coming out as they bake. And that's where a lot of the flavor is going to come from. So there we go. Those go in. Then this is kind of simple. This is what you can do. Make it your own. Absolutely. This, if you've whatever flavors, also whatever vegetables you have in the fridge, roast vegetables, whatever's looking like it's like had better days, pop that in there.
Corn or something. That's always nice for the next day.
Ask you for some help. So you got some ricotta. Well, you just dot the ricotta over there.
Okay.
And in a few weeks, we're actually going to show you how to make your own ricotta at home. It is so simple. So, but now we're just going to buy it. But in like 2021.
This is the quick version.
This is the quick version. Okay, I've got some eggs here.
There we go.
I've got some eggs, always free range. To that, we're going to add some salt. And I like, whenever it's like an eggy dish, I like a lot of black pepper. Like, almost like a rude amount of black pepper. I just like the flavor of eggs and peppers. That's going in there.
Go for it.
And a little bit of buttermilk. You could use cream, you could use milk, but buttermilk just gives it a little bit of a twang, and it just bakes really well. So let's maybe just dot it with this cheese as well. I was going to mix it in there, but maybe just to keep things simple.
Okay, should we put this on at the end?
No, you can add a little bit now, and then at the end as well. We're not limiting cheese.
We're carb-conscious.
It's carb-conscious. It's carb-conscious. We didn't say it's cheesy-conscious.
True, okay.
So 2021, we're not limiting things, okay?
No, we are not.
There's no quantity for cheese.
We're expecting the unexpected. That
Yes.
is my mantra.
No quantity for garlic will be given this year. No quantity for cheese will be given this year. And no quantity for chocolate. We're just gonna do all of it, okay? It's fine. So, eggs, you wanna really scramble them well.
There we go.
But this recipe you can actually make the day before. And like a quiche, like I make quiche, if I'm gonna serve it in the afternoon, I'll make it in the morning. Early. It kind of almost sets during that time.
I was about to say, then it doesn't fall apart when you slice it and serve it. And the nice thing about a quiche is something that can be enjoyed warm and cold. So this is also great if you make it the day before. You can quickly, I'm assuming, pop it in the microwave or eat it on the go cold.
Love it, absolutely. Then you're just gonna do this with your left hand and not mess.
Okay, good luck.
And all you do is you're gonna pour it in. They're almost gonna turn into like little souffles. As they're in the oven, they're gonna puff up, but then when they come out again, they're gonna kind of settle down.
That looks so good.
And these are so easy to make. I feel like it's almost like too easy to do as a recipe, but it's so rewarding and so simple. Once you start making it,
there we go.
It's like it's gonna be your go-to recipe.
And I love that you can play with it. I mean, like you said, if you've got leftover, I'm assuming you can pop some mushrooms in there.
Yeah, I've done this with blue cheese and smoked snook. Ooh. It was so good.
Some tomatoes.
Yes.
There we go.
If you want it to be really fancy, you could take bacon, and before you start adding all your ingredients to the muffin tin, you line the outside of the muffin tin with bacon, and then you put your ingredients in. So they pop out, they got a little bacon casing on the outside. I mean, a bacon casing. And again, that duck bacon, oh my goodness.
But it just shows you that this is the type of breakfast recipe that you can really make your own, and there are so many different variants to it. So really have some fun. If you love the one we made this morning, we have that recipe available for you. You can just head on over to taste.co.za and then click on that link where you will see this recipe with all of the steps and ingredients that you need to recreate these carb-conscious muffins. Can I try one?
You can try all of them.
Okay, I want to try one. There we go. Thank you very much.
And you want to see the ricotta as well. You don't want to be like hiding the cheese. Is it good? Is it good? Is it good?
Excellent.
It was so quiet.
Only you can make my day.
Are you ready for a sizzling summer holiday in Mzansi? Your best holiday is yet to come when you book at any participating Marriott branded hotel. Redefine your holiday with a beach break, nature retreat, or a road trip adventure. With the Marriott summer holiday offer, you can enjoy 25% off standard hotel rates, including free breakfast if you're a Marriott Bonvoy member and 15% if you're a non-Bonvoy member. Book on Marriott.com for the best rates guaranteed.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls. You're still locked in. You're live, large, and in charge on SABC3, and it's Expresso show coming at ya.
Yes, indeed. Jan is all about reflecting on all the things we got up to in December, and I think for so many of us, there's so many highlights.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I think that I got the best out of this past December.
Oh, really?
I didn't expect it.
I saw you come in here, Tubbs, this year with a beautiful smile and a glow, and your heart seemed full.
year?
And I have so many questions. Why, my friend? What's happening?
Well, first of all, let's address the fact that you're saying that you saw me arrive with a beautiful smile this year. What do you say about my smile from last year?
Well,
well, let's just put it this way. I went and I really did so much this past December. First of all, I got to spend it with my friends because, you know, because of lockdown and COVID and all of that, we all didn't get a chance to meet up. So we had all gotten so used to connecting via Zoom and video calls and phone calls and all of that. And it became really, really difficult. And seeing my friends after so many months was really, really such an awesome thing. And then I went out to Sun City to celebrate a birthday there, and I really just got to take in that northwest heat. It was so beautiful. Got to go on a safari game drive there. It was really, really beautiful. I mean, look at that. That is majestic. This was the first time.
Is this your view?
This is my view. I took this video. This was the first time. Oh, look at me. Yes, serving you legs, slender, tender, for your gender.
So you upgraded to a nice pair of slender legs?
Oh, yes. And I got a tan. That's my niece over there when I went home. Look at the troop. The troop there, that was my welcome home party.
Is this in Hammanskraal?
In Hammanskraal. When I got there, no, they're not child soldiers. No, they're not. This is a troop.
They're not there to get you out, and we don't want you back.
They're not. But this is a thing that they do every single December in Hammanskraal. The first festive season is all about the kids coming together, and they wear these like army outfits, and they do this like trupa thing, and it's such an amazing thing. You pay them $100, they come, they give you a big.
Oh, that's awesome.
You can tip them if you want.
Okay. I hope you tip them.
And that's me. That's my granddad over there, and my grandma. Look at that. How do you like their jewelry on their chests, eh?
That's
very nice. It's like their little badges of
matching.
Honor. You get that when you have done great work for the community.
Okay.
Of ZCC.
Where's your badge?
I haven't got a badge yet, but I will be getting one soon. And then that's me and the rest of my family. You've got my aunties there, my dad in the red top, my niece over there, me, my cousins, my neighbor over there. We are really just radiating.
Oh, definitely. Oh, that is so awesome, Tubbs. So awesome.
Man, what a time. Take me back.
I think we all would love to, and I think it's so cool and so special to be able to share some moments with your loved ones. I mean, you're always out in the studio working yourself to the absolute bone.
Absolutely.
And I think you really, truly deserve that. So.
Well, look at you there. Let's talk about what you did this past holiday.
It was a good year. We mixed up a lot of things. So obviously, I had to get my training on. I can't come back here with a boop. You know, we've got to keep the standards going. So I had to sneak in a bit of training. It was an interesting festive for me as well. Obviously, exploring some beautiful parts of Table Mountain that have been untouched for years and years. So getting my Nature Boy fix on as usual. But I actually had a new partner that joined me in my Nature Boy escapades, and I've just adopted a rescue pup. Hawken is his name.
Oh, look
and
at
there he is over there, such a cutie pie.
Wow.
And I got to take him on mushing on the beach. It's the most amazing thing, Tubbs. So like literally like 20 huskies all mushing in the sand, and it makes you feel like you're in the Antarctic.
I've only ever seen this in the movies.
Yeah, literally, it was an absolute dream for me. So I mean, that just started off my holiday, having a new family member that I got to take care of, and he just absolutely stole my heart, and he got to be a part of the new family. So along with Hawk and my new heartbreaker boy over there, the family actually broke my ma out of the old age home, and we got to see her in person for the first time. So this is literally me, Tubbs. I've made my own Christmas T-shirt there. I painted Father Christmas, and I got to see my ma for the first time this entire year. She's been stuck in the old age home. So to just see her, touch her, hug her, and embrace her, man, that was an absolute gift and a dream. I think after that, my holiday was set and it was made. Goosebumps. And in that moment, I literally just wished everybody else had an opportunity of love like I did. So that was my highlight, man.
There is nothing better than love, and it seems like your festive season was filled with so much
Truly
of that,
blessed.
not just for the pup that you've now adopted, but also for the outdoors, but for your ma as well, the whole family getting to reconnect in that way. That is so beautiful. You know, what I'm most looking forward to this year is really seeing more pictures of you like this, like that picture of you and your ma, if we can put it back up on, please, more pictures of you like that, as opposed to the pictures of you without any clothes on. I mean,
Maybe we can ask some Zanzi what they think. Should I have more family pictures posted up this year? Or do you want to keep the fitness no-top stuff? But let's see what happens. More highlights coming up, of course. It's not just us that had a beautiful festive. It was the celebs from Zanzi too. So let's find out what's happening. Either Trevor, Noah, Boiti, and the rest had a beautiful festive. Let's see what they got up to.
Yeah,
I'm still trying to get over the fact that Tabiso had to pay a crowd to come and welcome him back to Howard's crowd.
If you can't be your own hype person,
It's $100, man. That's rent a crowd, man. I love it. No,
welcome me back. Please do the entire Hammanskraal. But we're going to stay with the local celebrities. We'll kick it off with Boiti Tulo. Well, it seems like while COVID and lockdown was underway, many celebs made their way to, of course, the Cape Town. Our locals like Boiti Tulo, who spent her summer vacation in the mother city. She captioned this image, her wearing a brown T-shirt dress, enjoying the Cape Town sun, as you do, with the bright-coloured blouses. This could possibly be Burka. I'm thinking, definitely a vibe there.
Always good for an Insta moment,
Absolutely, and she also attended popular celebrity dentist Dr. Smile's wedding in this beautiful Constantia vineyard, loving coming through with the vibes. I love it. This is how you do a summer in Cape Town, just looking gorgeous.
That
beautiful.
Floral suit on Boiti is sitting, hey?
And she's been looking good. She's been back in gym. She's doing the most. We love you, Boiti. I can't wait to actually bring her back to studio, or at least connect with her. Then the international stars have been out here as well. You might know Ed Westwood, if I say the name. No, but how about Chuck Bass.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Bass.
XOXO.
There's a man from Gossip Girl, obviously, and he is dating a South African girl, but he was spotted in the mother city, living his best life, enjoying everything that South African has to offer, exploring Cape Town. Also got to the Kruger Park, which is a great thing to do. I think our national parks did enjoy some tourism over this period, which is fantastic. But what a way to experience Africa. If you're going to come out here, get out to the Kruger National Park. And, of course, he was seen at the Silo Hotel as well. Like all the celebrities are, looked after in style. It ain't cheap there, yo. It ain't cheap there, man. But he's noted to be dating South African model Tamara Francesconi, who apparently brought him to meet the parents. So I hope it went well, Tamara.
So it's getting serious.
It must be, man.
She also paid somebody to like hyper up.
But do you think, if like knowing his character, do you think the parents are like, buddy, you know, or you like?
I know, no. I mean, I'm sure they got to know each other, especially if they got to explore the mother city with the girlfriend, with the family.
Do you think they took the open top bus and
Of
they were doing the whole thing?
course. He had to go all out.
Welcome to South Africa, buddy. Welcome to South Africa.
But now we're sticking to our local celebrities. Earlier on, we touched on Gert-Johan Coetzee dressing Cardi B. We also spoke a little bit about Uzozimini Tunzi, but now we get down to Trevor Noah, who recently bought himself a 420 million rand mansion in Bel Air. Just 420 million rands. Now, the news comes shortly after the comedian was said to be house hunting with his girlfriend, Minka Kelly. He has a girlfriend. Oh, I didn't know that one. The 3-story Japanese-inspired mansion boasts 6 bedrooms, and listen to this, 11 bathrooms. What do you do with all that space? Like, you have 6 bedrooms and 11 bathrooms, so
invite
2
Africa
bathrooms for each bedroom.
That's your family, yeah, man. Your whole family could come and each have their own bathroom. It looks beautiful, though.
It's stunning. It's breathtaking. I know on social media, they were like, we're going through a global pandemic. How can you, show off a 420 million rand apartment? But at the same time,
you've got it.
He's worked hard.
I mean, he's the most successful comedian in the world at the moment. He's earned the right to be able to do that. Just wondering, like, travel plans, so will he be in New York over summer, or how is he going to do it? But we love it. We love to see South Africans thriving and doing the most. And he's also very generous with his wealth as well. 100%. And he has a huge amount of focus on South Africa. And that closet, man, come on, dude. Get out of here. Get out of here, guy.
Just look at that. Maybe we can say he's stunning. We need to do a live crossing in his house. Trevor Noah,
okay, no, I'll take back everything nice I said about him.
Watching, please, I call dibs.
No, man, you can't be showing off a wine room in South Africa at the moment. That's just too far.
No.
That's too far, man.
You're
That's
taking
too far.
it too far.
Wow,
but absolutely
that looks great. Trev, you're doing okay, buddy. You're doing all right.
Okay, all right.
But now also, this story for me is just the wildest thing. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of Mamkhize. She's a Durban-based multi-millionaire. I think she's got something to do with mining and soccer teams and stuff like that. But that's
a little bit of everything.
The queen of social media, okay? Mamkhize heard the news that there's lockdown and that fireworks are not allowed, and that she just wants to live and welcome 2021 in the best way possible. She was like, you know what? It's a wrap, South Africa. I'm gonna go play out there somewhere else in the world, just touring and whatever, living her best life. She posted a video of herself saying, okay, if I can't have fireworks here in South Africa, I'm gonna go get fireworks somewhere else.
Nice.
Just look at that.
Oh, wow.
Living her best life in Dubai, out of all places.
Nice. This is how you're starting 2021 with fireworks?
Like, how much money must you have to just wake up and be like, okay, I can't deal with level 3. Let me just get up and fly to Dubai and live my best life.
But that's what 2021 is about, eh? Abundance. Making as much money. So by the end of next year, if you want to go to Dubai, you're going to do it, okay?
I am speaking it to existence.
That is the plan. Manifest it. Absolutely beautiful.
Someone actually commented on our social media saying people really go all out when it comes to fireworks, and that's really what I want. Hey, I love fireworks, Mina. I don't blame Mamkhize for going to Dubai for fireworks. What? But I feel like that's a bit extra.
She didn't even need to do her own posting. Other people did her posting for her.
Exactly.
Yeah. Another one says, Maputejo says, Mamkhize went to Dubai only because Southie won't have fireworks. This is the 2021 energy.
Exactly
and
we have less pets. We have less pets in Dubai, clearly. Mamkhize felt that she could never go to sleep at 9 p.m. on New Year's Eve, so she decided to just leave. She's in Dubai. Betuna La Mama. What is that? Living her best life.
Betuna La Mama is living her best life. Like, people, this lady is just out here living her best life.
True.
It's the energy that we want for 2021. That's our mantra. I think that should be our mantra. Mum Keys, just like
Mum Keys.
Mum Keys. It is. Hashtag.
Oh, thank you, team. Well, it's a few minutes before 8. Let's take a final look at your national headlines. Environmental group EarthLife says the government's failure to tackle the effects of climate change represent a violation of human rights due to its impact on the poor and vulnerable. It said despite South Africa's repeated declarations to address climate change, the state is still proposing further exploitation of coal, gas and oil. EarthLife Director Makoma Lekalakala said this would not only aggravate the climate situation, but also lock the country into a treacherous carbon-intense future. And then staying with local news, the Basic Education Department is gearing up for a week 2 of matric exam marking as of today. Marking got off to a difficult start in some places last week after hundreds of markers pulled out due to fears of COVID infections. Although there are strict distancing protocols in place at assessment centres, 170 assessors tested positive during the first week of marking. The department's Director General, Matamzima Mzweli, said this shouldn't affect progress as all provinces have made provisions for standby assessors. We now move to news beyond our own borders, where the Seychelles has become the first African nation to start vaccinations against COVID-19. It hopes to vaccinate 70% of its population within 2 to 3 months, deploying both the Chinese Sinopharm vaccine and the AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine. The country's president was the first to receive the jab, an event broadcast on live television. Several other public figures joined him. Health workers will be vaccinated as from today, and then people aged over 65, followed by distribution to the rest of the population. And still with the jab we are all waiting for, Pope Francis and Queen Elizabeth have become the latest high-profile figures to join the global vaccination campaign against the coronavirus, as the UK reported it had surpassed more than 3 million cases since the pandemic began more than a year ago. Some 1.9 million people worldwide have now succumbed to the virus, with new variants adding to soaring cases and prompting the reintroduction of restrictions on movement across the globe. Pope Francis urged people to be vaccinated, calling opposition to the jab suicidal denial. And next, Austrian Airlines' splendid kickoff for 2021. Now, in the wake of a bygone year, the likes of which millions across the globe have never experienced before, the crew of Austrian Airlines had a very special welcome for their passengers, and it had a distinct South African flavour to it. It was undoubtedly a worthy start for the new year. Jerusalema by South African DJ and record producer Master KG, featuring South African vocalist Nomcebo, united the world in a dance. This upbeat gospel-influenced SA house song reached #1 in Belgium, the Netherlands, Romania and Switzerland in 2020, and the viral dancing really made everyone's heart sing. The Jerusalema challenge, which has been compared to the Macarena, spawned thousands of dance videos from across the world, and the crew of Austrian Airlines really and truly brought all of the feels while continuing the trend into 2021. Well, on that happy beat, that's where I leave your morning headlines. Let's take a final look at your sport.
Thanks so much, Zoe. Let's kick it off with rugby. While the playoff places have been confirmed, now the Currie Cup concluded round 7 this weekend with wins for the Cheetahs and the Pumas now all out of the competition. Pumas recording a very impressive 44-14 win over a youthful-looking Bulls side in Nelspruit yesterday. Then on Saturday, Rugby World Cup winner Frans Steyn, he guided the Cheetahs to a hard-fought win over the Griquas in Kimberley. The match between Western Province and the Sharks, scheduled to take place in Cape Town, that was cancelled in line with COVID-19 protocols. So the Bulls remain at the top of the standings following the round-robin phase of the competition. The winners Griquas sitting at the bottom of the log, but it means the Bulls and the Lions will face each other, and of course the Sharks and Western Province in those playoff places. Moving to football in the PSL this weekend, defending champions Mamelodi Sundowns, they beat Baraka FC 2-0 to remain at the top of the standings with a 3-point gap. Last season's runners-up Kaizer Chiefs, more woes there as they suffered a 2-0 defeat at the hands of Maritzburg United on Saturday. Then yesterday, Orlando Pirates were held to a 1-1 draw, a contentious draw at that. That was up against second-place Swallows FC. Also ended 1 apiece for Bloem Celtic and Amazulu FC. The Premier Soccer League action will continue this coming Wednesday evening. Staying with football, FA Cup action continued over the weekend as well, with big victories for the top English Premier League teams. Defending Premier League champions Liverpool, they thrashed Aston Villa 4-1. Chelsea beat Morecambe 4-0. Man City beat Birmingham City 3-0. And then last night, Tottenham Hotspur claimed an impressive 5-0 win over Marine, a 7th-tier team. FA Cup holders Arsenal, they beat Newcastle United 2-0 in a hard-fought encounter that needed to go into full extra time. And Manchester United, they edged out Watford 1-0. Then coming back to South Africa for cricket, the Dolphins, they've secured their spot in the Momentum One-Day Cup semi-finals after recording a 53-run victory over the Knights at the Senvest Park in Potchefstroom yesterday. Dolphins reaching 290 for 8 with the man of the match, Robbie Freilich, picking up 2 wickets for just 14 runs and then posting 37 from only 18 deliveries. This was the second consecutive victory for the Dolphins, who also beat the Titans by 76 runs earlier in the competition. That's where we leave our sport for now. Let's take one last look at your beautiful sunrise pictures.
Thank you, Graham, and we welcome you back to Expresso and, of course, our weather report. Now, how it works is we ask you to send us a beautiful sunrise photo from your part of the country, and you share it on the Expresso Facebook page, and that is how you contribute to our weather report, because we get to show it to you on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Earlier, we showed you one from Sharon Kopman, who sent us this golden sunrise from Burrito, where cloudy conditions can be expected today, reaching a warm 28 degrees. Nombulelo Zandile Gama posted this blue skyline from Soweto. And then this one came through from Nick Lombard. He posted this gorgeous sunrise, a windmill in shot, and that is from the Klein Karoo, where you can expect some partly sunny and pleasant conditions today. And Jenna Ridge Archibald Taylor posted this blue skyline. And a big thank you to each and every one of you for sharing your gorgeous sunrise photos with us. And remember, if you would love to be part of it, simply post your sunrise photos on the Expresso Facebook page. Some quick news: road, rail and air travel has been disrupted in Spain as Storm Filomena has blanketed many regions in the country in heavy snow, and at least 4 deaths have been reported so far. Filomena is the most intense storm in the last 50 years. Madrid, one of the worst affected areas, has seen 20 centimeters of snow in 24 hours. The Spanish government yesterday sent convoys carrying COVID-19 vaccine and food supplies to areas cut off by the storm. Now, forecasters have warned of more dangerous conditions in coming days, with temperatures expected to fall to up to -10 this week, and the prospect of snow turning to ice and damaged trees falling. And that's where we leave the news regarding weather, but let's take a quick look at your temperatures. If you're in Polokwane today, expect a low of 16 with a high of 27. Mbombela, some rain with a high of 29. Pretoria, partly cloudy, reaching a high of 29. Johannesburg, 15, reaching a high of 27. Thunder showers can be expected in Mahikeng, 19, reaching a high of 27. Klerksdorp, 18, with a high of 28. Kimberley, 20, reaching a high of 24, with thunder showers in play, and Bloemfontein, a low of 17, reaching a high of 22. If you're in Richards Bay, a low of 20 with a high of 28 for today. Pietermaritzburg, 18, reaching a high of 26. Partly cloudy conditions in Durban, 23 with a high of 28. Mthatha, thunder showers can be expected with a high of 22. East London, wet conditions with a low of 21, a high of 23. Cradock, 18, reaching a high of 29. Port Elizabeth, rain with a low of 20 and a high of 24. George, 19, reaching a high of 23. If you're in Cape Town today, sunny conditions with a high of 27. Worcester, 16, reaching a high of 34. If you're in Sutherland, 13 is your low, 29 your high, and some thunder showers can be expected in Uppington with a low of 23 and a high of 28 degrees Celsius. That's where I leave your weather on your Feel Good Breakfast show.
It's definitely going to be a beautiful Monday. And not only is it a Monday, but it's also Relationship Mondays, and we're going to delve into how to set healthy boundaries and healthy goals for you and your partner for the rest of 2021.
Yeah, so you definitely want to stick around for that after the break. Of course, we've got the specialist, Asha Dulab, to share all things relationships and advice. See you there.
Only you can make my day.
Jan, or he said latest first week of.
Release the dreams and break me down.
Sounds very familiar. Sounds very last year, December.
Nation.
Very
Oh, that's loud. You.
You lost 1 point.
Written by the cross. Unconditional. Yeah, that's much better. Was it bleeding earlier on?
Still. No?
Now I can hear nothing.
See where it is. Just stop for me.
Release the marrows out. Mic check. Surrender. You. Did my mommy call back? Can I call again?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back as we kickstart the final hour of the show. We can have a little bit of fun now, getting all loved up. Is your romantic relationship, did it make it through 2020? Well, then a hearty cheer to you because it was no easy feat. Man, did we get tested as couples. You found ways to nurture each other, work together through very difficult, unprecedented, I'm going to use that word, the key word from 2021, but undoubtedly the toughest times that we've survived. So we have bid farewell to last year. We've done it, we've let go, we've processed that, and we want you to improve on what you achieved and continue to grow and strengthen your relationship throughout 2021.
Yes, and today we are asking you, how do you and your partner set your goals for your relationship? Clinical psychologist Asha Dulab is here today to help us discuss this, and we're taking your questions and comments via our Facebook page and our studio line on 021-110-5552. So please do connect with us.
And it's not an opportunity for you to complain about your significant other this morning. We're only about positivity, okay? So in that vein, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, and Happy New Year to all the viewers.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Good to have you here. Goals. I mean, we are obviously goal-focused here. We've moved away from kind of, our New Year's resolutions and, setting these kind of unachievable goals. It's all about things that we can achieve so that we can build on that. Is it important as a couple to actually make it a conscious thing to set goals for yourself to achieve beyond the material things that you need to do, but as in a relationship, in an emotional sense?
Sure. I think that as couples, we are always setting goals. It comes quite naturally in the process of being in a relationship. But I think more so now, instead of looking at this whole goal-directed approach, perhaps we should just use the word intentions. What are our intentions for the year ahead? Because, we're living in such unpredictable times. As much as we want to set goals, we don't know whether we can actually get to our goals and achieve them. So perhaps moving towards a goal-directed approach, more to more process-directed approach, would be focused on our intentions for the year. And that can maybe feel a bit more manageable. But it's a great way of checking in with your partner and checking, how has the year been? What can we change? How can we improve? What can we let go of?
I mean, we set goals for ourselves as individuals every single year, but how important is it to sit down with your partner and set a relationship goal or relationship goals for the new year?
When you talk about that checking in.
Yes, it's very important. I think that when we look at relationships, it almost needs to be a 1 + 1 = 3, where the whole of the relationship, the sum of it must be much greater than the individual parts, So I think that it's the 1 + 1 = 3, we're a couple, both of them are growing and evolving at a very much faster pace because of the relationship. And it's about focusing on one's individual goals, but as well as the couple goals.
Or you, in my case, you know, you're in a relationship and 1 + 1 = 4 because you've got 2 kids and suddenly your whole goal mindset shifts so dramatically. But in considering what we've been through over the last year and what we want to be able to achieve this year, knowing what we know, what areas should we be focusing on for those good intentions?
Sure. I think that a lot of people have just been focusing a lot on their overall well-being, which includes all aspects. It's our physical well-being, it's our emotional well-being, psychological well-being,
financial
well-being. Of course, I think last year has been a year of a lot of reflection, a lot of growth for all of us. It's through the depths of our struggles that I think many of us have grown and evolved, and we've learned the skill of adaptability. I think that we've also become hopeful. There is an energy of hope that we need to just sort of hang on to and be positive and really look for the meaning and purpose in our lives with regard to those intentions that we'd like to set for ourselves.
I love that so much. But then we find ourselves most often than not now in 2020, already in 2021, with so much happening, with family members dying because of COVID-19, that hardships can set us back. How do then we encourage each other to continue keeping our head in the game, keeping our heads, you know, working towards the goals that we have set together as a partnership?
Sure. I think really good, open and transparent communication is critical. If we can learn from the virus itself, the microscopic virus of COVID is so open and transparent. So if you can use that lesson and implement it in your relationships and have these deep, honest, open conversations with your partner and really listening very carefully to your partner's goals. What are their intentions for the year? And being the greatest cheerleader for your partner, be your greatest support to your partner, share in your discoveries, and that's how we grow and evolve together, so we can look at our personal goals as well as the relationship goals and the couple goals, and really just enjoy the year with a sense of hope and some positivity.
Yeah, and I think we have learned a lot. We know, I always laugh about it now, like going into the second lockdown, how different that experience was, knowing what we know. In retrospect, I mean, we've got all the tools now to be able to work more effectively, to be more effective at home, enjoy ourselves. But the one thing that last year certainly forced us to do was get real.
Yes.
There's no more superfluous nonsense in our lives. It's like focus on what's real and what's important. That's what we're going to be doing in this discussion, continuing, talking about relationships and setting goals, or as Asha has said, those intentions behind, because it's difficult to make plans, even now in South Africa in 2021, but we'd love to hear from you. 021 110 552. If you've got any relationship questions or maybe some insights that you've picked up over the last year as a couple, we'd love to hear from you.
Well, we would also like to just say a big thank you to Jared Ricketts for joining us this morning on your Feel Good Breakfast show, and for also blessing us with a number of Gospel Monday performances. Now, Jared hopes to bring a message of hope to all South Africans during these difficult times that we are currently facing, with his performance of his first gospel single, You Are Lord. And he released this song last year during the tough lockdown restrictions. And we really hope that this kind of hope is exactly what we need as a nation as our COVID-19 numbers continue to rise. So may this song bring you some comfort and faith that we will overcome this. Jared, it's all yours.
Thank you.
Lord, I come before you now. Take all the burdens that surround me. Release the chains that pin me down, so I can reach out for your glory. Searching for the cure to make it better. Praying on my knees, now I remember. You are my provider. You are my salvation. Risen from the cross to conquer every nation. One condition, know you love me. Your word, it tells me so. And you cast away I know that you are my defender. You call me closer to your light, and now in my darkness to you I surrender. Searching for the cure to make it better. Praying on my knees now I remember. You are my provider. You are my salvation. Risen from the cross to conquer every nation. One condition, know you love me. Your word, it tells me so. And you cast away the enemy, oh, for everyone to know that you are Lord. So many things against us in this lifetime, but only you can heal the wounds of all mankind. Cause we've got families living in poor conditions, people starving and senseless killing, eulogies written for our people going missing. We are searching for the cure to make this better. Praying on my knees, now I remember. You are my provider. Oh, you are my salvation. Risen from the cross to conquer every nation. One condition, know you love me. Your word, it tells me so. And you cast away the enemy, oh, for everyone to know that you are Lord. Oh, you are Lord. Oh, you are Lord. Oh, you are Lord. Oh, you are Lord.
Thank you so much.
What a beautiful performance, Jared Ricketts, on your Feel Good Breakfast show, bringing those strong vocals with his song, You Are Lord, for Gospel Monday. Jared's not going anywhere. Stick around on your Feel Good Breakfast show, because in a little while, the presenters will be singing.
Oh, yeah. Are you ready?
I'm not. I'm not ready for that.
The click song. Like it Club 10. I don't know. Good 10 minutes.
It's my
Welcome back to it, you beautiful people. Your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, on SABC3. Now, since its inception in 2016, the Dry January Challenge, which is run by the organization World Without Wine, has helped many people evaluate and change their relationship with alcohol, as well as raise a total of 226,100 to help nearly 1,000 children gain the opportunity to enrich their lives through yoga practice, which is absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely.
And joining us via video call this morning to share more about World Without Wine's journey and their Dry January mission for 2021 is the founder, Janet, who we spoke to a while ago during the beginning of lockdown in South Africa last year. Janet, good morning. Thank you so much for making the time.
Hi there. It's lovely to see you guys again.
Janet, 6 years. The Dry January Challenge is 6 years strong, which is big. It's amazing. What fuels the motivation to keep it going, and what target have you set for this year?
Oh, well, it's such a beautiful cause. I mean, two things keep me motivated, and the first is obviously the Earth Child Project, which is very close to my heart. You know, they're helping 35,000 children all the time, and they're actually developing young leaders who will then go on to be role models in their community. I mean, it's just a beautiful project, been going 14 years now. And the second reason, of course, is that I love the way that it gives people an opportunity to take a break from alcohol. I mean, one of the most difficult things when we do try to stop for a while is the peer pressure, you know, people saying, oh, come on, you know, what's the matter with you, you're boring, etc. But if you say, I'm doing a Dry January, it tends to get people to back off a little bit. So I love the idea that it gives people an opportunity, and it introduces them to us and our services, and many people, they love the online and the community support that they get during Dry January. So they stick around, you know, and they become members, or they might come back and do our Sober Spring Challenge. It's a nice introduction. And our target, that was the other thing you asked me, for this year is 60,000.
Stunning, stunning. Janet, the one thing I really do like and appreciate about an initiative like this is that it keeps us accountable and it helps us rally the support of our friends, of our loved ones. When you say to people that I am on a mission for a month to do something, Dry January or go on a vegan diet, people actually keep following up with you. And that keeps you motivated, which is absolutely fantastic. So well done on that. Let's talk about your personal journey and your relationship with alcohol and what led you to start this World Without Wine movement.
Sure. Well, like many people, my alcohol dependency crept up on me very slowly over the years, over the decades, in fact. I began, you know, just by having the odd glass of wine in the evening, and gradually that escalated until I was eventually drinking a bottle of wine every evening. And what was worrying, and what I recognize now as a danger sign, is that I stopped using alcohol to socialize so much, but I was using it now to self-medicate my stress, my anxiety. So, you know, I realized that it wasn't sustainable. It couldn't go on. Two things made me change. One was that I was having blackouts, which I found very scary, because I think I knew I was harming my body, but the thought that I was harming my brain as well, it kind of gave me a real wake-up call. And the second thing was I got breast cancer, and I had to have chemotherapy and a mastectomy, and the links between excess alcohol consumption and breast cancer are now proved, you know, so I don't want that coming back in my life. So I had big motivation. So I trotted along to AA because I didn't know what else to do. And even though I tried several meetings, I just couldn't quite find my people there. I couldn't find my tribe. Because a lot of the people that go to AA, they were quite further down the line than me. I mean, they were drinking in the mornings and drinking a bottle of whiskey a day. I wasn't there yet. I might have been on my way, but I wasn't quite that bad. So I carried on looking for the right group, and eventually I found a workshop in London, where I'm from. And it was just a one-day workshop, but they gave us information, they gave us tools, and most importantly, I was able to connect with people like me, you know, women with good jobs that were drinking a bottle of wine an evening. So because I made those connections, we stayed connected, we kept each other on track. So I got sober, returned to South Africa, and I thought, well, you know, I've got 25 years experience in training and development in corporates, because that was my job. So I thought, well, I can design and facilitate my own workshop, because there's definitely a need for it here, because there's only AA for South Africans. So that's what I did. And November 2015 was the first workshop. We've run more than 50 now. We've helped hundreds of people. And what's lovely is people that have got sober with us, they've stuck around, you know, they haven't left our community. And we now call them sober buddies, and they're helping new people that come into our community. So it's all come together beautifully, and I'm very, I feel very blessed to be doing this work. It's so rewarding.
Fantastic.
Inspiring, and congratulations to you for being and staying sober, and also now giving a platform to others to find, you know, their group and their people. But I also want to touch on the Earth Child Project, which is the beneficiary of the Dry January Challenge fundraiser. It has various programs that it offers to vulnerable children in Khayelitsha and also in Lavender Hill. Tell us a bit more about those and how the funds raised from the Dry January Challenge assist with that.
Sure. Well, the easiest way to explain it is to think about that 220,000 that we've raised over the years. But I think your colleague gave us the exact figure there, which is more than I knew. Well done. I did. So that amount of money has enabled 880 children to go through a whole year of yoga and life skill classes. And these classes, I mean, it's not just about doing postures. You can see the children there, they do the postures. They do meditation, and they absolutely love it. But it's much deeper than that. They learn how to look after their bodies, you know, how to respect their bodies. So in fact, the girls, the teenagers in the Earth Child projects are much less likely to get pregnant, you know, than their peers, because they respect their bodies more. They learn healthy nutrition, and they learn how to boost their immune systems, which is particularly important in these days of COVID-19. So there's plenty of other benefits to this program. It's not just about yoga. And of course, the communities that they come from, there's gang violence, substance abuse, unemployment. And these children have to deal with trauma very often. So having a yoga practice, it's a tool, and it allows them to carve out just a space of kind of calm, even if it's only for a small time. And we've seen in many cases, the yoga is the beginning of a lifetime practice for them. And many of the children that joined Earth Child, you know, when they were tiny, they're now young adults, and they're young leaders, and they're helping to run the Earth Child project, and they're being role models to their entire community.
Stunning. And what we can all take away from this, it's just a month. You just have to get yourself through this month, and then it becomes a routine. And who knows, 2021, you change your lifestyle. So thank you so much for giving us insight on this, how we can take the next step in, you know, just going alcohol-free. Maybe that is the bigger picture here, where we go completely wine-free. But thank you so much for sharing some insight with us this morning.
Okay, so people just need to go to worldwithoutwine.com, make a small donation to Earth Child, and we'll take care of the rest.
Absolutely, a lot of fantastic work that you are doing there. Of course, so far raised 226,100, which has gone to benefit Earth Child, and done such fantastic work in that community. Well, take the step to change your relationship with alcohol and sign up for that Dry January Challenge.
250 Rand goes to enriching the life of a deserving Earth Child. Like Janet said, you can go to worldwithoutwine.com for all the information.
Well, if you're all about making changes this year, from Dry January to Veganuary 2021, the Fry's Family Food Co., it is at the forefront of it all, naturally. Now, as we all know, Fry's have been striving to provide consumers with plant-based meals and products for the last 30 years, ensuring we make responsible choices for ourselves and the environment. Now, Veganuary affords us the perfect chance to step back, rethink, and reconsider the way we eat and the relative impact it has on ourselves and the environment. So on today's menu, we're going to showcase the Fry's plant-based meatballs and 2 simple yet delicious recipes to build up your plant-based recipe library. Ryle is joining me in studio, and you're going to start us off, right?
Yes, I am, and I'm so excited, obviously, being a meat-free Monday and a big enthusiast. I love the fact that we have these alternatives. So I'm going to kick it off with let's call it a more complex version of how we can spruce these meatballs up. Okay. And then you've also got something on the side there which you're going to show us a little bit later as well.
A little easier.
Yeah, yes, a little easier one. So what I'm going to do is I've just preheated the pan already. So we're going to start off with putting some oil in. And what I'm literally going to create here is somewhat of like, let's call it a pre-seasoning, okay? So I'm going to put some chili in there first with the oil. Then I've got some garlic.
Oh, and I love fresh garlic. There's nothing better than
fresh garlic. Is there anything that you
garlic.
actually cook that doesn't have garlic, apart from a cake?
Yeah. I don't know.
So once we've got that all in there, we've kind of just let it simmer and reduce a little bit. And this is the base that we're going to now use to add our hero ingredient. All right, so I'm going to brown these meat-free meatballs up. And I love these. Number one, full of protein. It's about 22 grams of protein per 100. So already you're looking at the protein value that any gymmer or any muscle enthusiast would want. Also, on top of that, the fact that there's a really low, well, in terms of its fat, it does have fat, but it's an unsaturated fat. So that's the good kind. So you can definitely afford to go with that. That's the good plant kind and the good oils that you do need as well for this, right? So the fact that you've got these macro balances in this already is a massive bonus. And again, like I said, the including of protein makes it such a great alternative for anybody just training and wanting to get that muscle synthesis going.
And you won't miss out. I mean, if that was a worry or a concern of yours going plant-based, you are not missing out in the requirement proteins that you need.
Yeah, I mean, 22 grams of protein per serving, that's almost enough for a post-workout meal, and it's going to tick all those boxes, right? So I've just browned these now, and they are looking really, really good. What I'm going to do is just add in a little bit of pepper just for some seasoning. I've got the tomato puree over here, which is going to give it that beautiful thickness and balance. Ah, there we go. Now it's turning into a proper meatball.
Getting that Italian flavors coming through.
Are you smelling that, by the way?
I am.
Proper Italiano.
Meatballs, like
and
anything is amazing.
Then what we're going to do is I'm just going to slightly season up, a little bit more salt on that, and some sugar. Weirdly enough, adding sugar, and I'll tell you why.
Just a little bit of sugar, it just balances out the tomato acidity, right?
Nice, very smart indeed.
There
Obviously, your tomatoes are very acidic, and that's going to come through in the puree as well, even though we are reducing it and cooking it. But we're going to want to balance it out with that sugar, and that's going to give it that perfect symmetry. All right, so I'm almost done here, Zoe, with my little fusion. I'm going to let these go for a little bit.
Okay.
And then what we do is, once it's ready, this is the best part. How cool is this? So I've already created a sauce that I've cooked in with the meatballs. What you can do is take that and use it as your sauce for your meatballs and your pasta.
That is so smart.
Yeah, literally straight on top of it, I can put my pasta, put my sauce on my pasta over here. And then on top of that, I can just add some meatballs to it. And this looks so good. Sorry, I have the worst spoon I'm using at the moment
Don't
to
worry.
serve this.
Well, while you're busy serving that up, you know, the ease with which these dishes have been prepared. I mean, Ryle just show you, like, it really surprised me at how quick and easy it was. They look visually and jaw-droppingly gorgeous, and obviously it smells incredible and absolutely heavenly. So whether it's your New Year's resolution to stay healthy, or, you know, you're looking for a chance to simply try something new, Veganuary, it is a great opportunity to rediscover and rethink the way we eat. And the most important thing to remember is also the impact it has not only on our bodies but also the environment. So Ryle, you made this delicious, I'm going to call this the high intensity workout, and I'm going to show you how a quick and easy low impact workout will be.
Quick cherry on the top, just because we are going Veganuary all the way. I've actually included some vegan cheese, which is really cool. So it's a substituted dairy, it's a coconut alternative, and voila. My work here is done in 5 minutes. I even have enough time for you to show us our second meal.
Okay, cool. So you can simply take a whole grain pita bread. Obviously, we slice it in half and they naturally open. And you're going to start off with your, some people say hummus, other people say hummus. You're just going to literally put that in. Of course, it's some chickpeas. We just spread that in there.
Again, I must just say, hummus hummus is a really great sauce because, like you said, it's using chickpeas, and chickpeas are amazing because it's got good unsaturated fats, but also lots of protein again.
That's
so,
right.
Yes,
and it's
please.
also got some tahini, which at the end of the day is roasted sesame seeds.
Yes.
So high in protein. So I'm adding some, this is pickled red cabbage that I'm adding in there. And the secret with little pitas is, sorry, I made a bit of a mess. You don't want to overpack it because otherwise it breaks. We've got some...
So you don't like chewing into it and then everything just explodes all over the floor.
True. And then, of course, our hero ingredient, which is our fried meatballs, our meat-free meatballs. And what's great is this was simply fried like Ryle had done it in the pan. But what's great is you can pop it in the oven. You can also put it in your air fryer, and it really will just make the same impact. And it's nice, quick, and easy. So there you go. And this is your pita bread, and of course you can finish it off with a little bit of garnish. I've got some coriander here. I know Graham's not a fan of coriander.
Oh, well, I'm very proud of us. I mean, look how quick and simple and easy that was.
Here
We
we
literally
go.
did 2 meals. Make sure that my pan's actually off here.
Serve that nice and easy. Now, if your appetite has also been whet and you'd like to sign up to Veganuary this month, it is not too late. Simply head on over to the We Love Veganuary Facebook page and you can join. It is absolutely for free. And if you join, you will receive tips, some content and ideas, a free meal plan and some plant-based 101 guides, and of course, be part of a community of like-minded citizens. So join the cause, challenge your friends and your family, and share your plant-based creations with us because we would love to see what you get cooking.
Nourish yourself with fries this Veganuary and join the We Love Veganuary Facebook group.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back as we continue our relationship chat. Today we are asking, how do you and your partner set goals for your relationship together? And we're back with clinical psychologist Asha Dulab to unpack this topic. So please weigh in. We want your comments, questions, anything you would like to add to the conversation. You can hit us up on our Facebook page or just phone our studio line directly. Write this number down, 021 110 552. And I'm going to open our account with a comment that came through from Star, and she said, I think one of us has got to have their own set of goals as individuals, then share them with your partner. And I believe fusing both our goals together, we will get what we intended to achieve together as a couple. So it's not about losing your identity within that and only being about the goal, but kind of merging the two.
Absolutely. We need to just focus on ourselves as well. Because if we don't focus on our individual goals, we may become quite resentful towards our partner. We may get into a space where we don't feel good about our own desires and what we want to achieve. So it cannot be at the expense of the relationship, but we need to find a clear balance between our individual goals as well as the couple goals. But both are vitally important.
I love that we're starting off this conversation with this comment because we're going to get to it a little later on. But I would just like for you to expand on that notion, why it is to focus on self before you focus on the goals of the unit in a relationship.
focusing on self is most important because it's personal well-being, seeing to yourself first, having your cup full before you can actually give onto others. So looking at what your desires are, looking at what you want to devote to. Every human being has to focus on what their sense of self-actualization is. And this is what's important, so that once you have a clear idea of what you want, you are more easily able to support and give to others in the relationship.
Have that room to breathe. I like that. One area that often takes our breath away, certainly over the last year, and then possibly an area where we as couples will hit and hiccup is when it comes to financial goals.
Yeah.
Why is it so important to communicate in that space and be transparent?
Oh, yes, we have to be transparent. Financial goals is probably one of the hardest things that couples have to endure, because just going through the pandemic and COVID, I mean, we've had a lot of people that have lost their jobs. Some of them had to cut their salaries. And this is a ticking time bomb for a relationship, because with finances also comes a sense of shame, and it can also lead to some secrecy in the relationship, which can often bring up more conflict in relationships. So very critical to have some financial planning, set some financial goals. Perhaps you want to save some more money, perhaps you want to save for that holiday, perhaps you want to donate some money. So speak about what are your viewpoints of money, because also our relationship with money actually goes back quite way back to when we grew up, and how does that impact
part of our pathology?
Yeah.
G, I think, mentioned earlier on that, the lockdown has provided a sense of having to be very honest with yourself and just being honest with the reality of what is going on out there. Quarantine was very difficult. It's either it made or broke your relationship. But how do we, now that we found ourselves in the second wave of lockdown, how do we use this time to kind of identify the strengths and weaknesses of each individual within the relationship, and what's the importance of doing so?
Because there's no escape.
Yeah, strengths and weaknesses are very important. I mean, our strengths are very, very much can also be our weaknesses, and our weaknesses can be our strength. But acknowledge each other's strengths and weaknesses. I mean, just like the pandemic has got a great strength in that it's offered us a sense of community, a sense of togetherness, connectedness. But the weakness of it is that it's brought about a lot of fear, a lot of distrust, a lot of mistrust, a lot of uncertainty. So life is always about those opposites. It's about embracing both and acknowledging each partner in the relationship for both their strengths and weaknesses. It makes us whole. So self-awareness is critical here, and self-growth is critical. But relationships grow us and heal us. That's why we're in relationships.
Well, exactly, and we can grow together. And of course, we have an opportunity, being the start of a brand new year, to capitalize on that fresh energy. So I want you to think about that, and want you to think about that in just a moment, how we can capitalize on the start of 2021 when it comes to setting those goals or those best intentions in our relationships.
Well, I'm in the kitchen with Jamie Lee. We're over our cup of Nespresso coffee, and we're about to really just catch up on what we got up to over the holidays. I feel like, Jamie, you need to start. What was this last 2 weeks for you?
Bliss, absolute bliss. I did nothing, which was the best thing that I need to do after 2020. I just rest, I reset. I got to, reconnect with my family, my mom, my son, and do it safely in the comfort of our own home. But the best highlight of my 2021 so far, and I know we're just a few weeks into it, was Luca started play school. Everybody, my heart broke. I was very strong taking him to play school the first day. I was like, Luca, 6 a.m., let's do this. Oma started crying when we left him there, and he was like, bye, Mom, bye, see you. And I was like, Luca, you're not going to need Mommy. He's like, no, bye. And then we went to the baby. He's like, shh, baby girl's sleeping. Baby girl is sleeping. And so that was the cutest thing that I could do for him, but just really reconnect, rest. I put my phone off. I was detached from the world, got to spend some time on the West Coast as well. Just like spontaneous adventures, and that is definitely my mantra for this year. It's just like taking that risk, just being there, being present. And I spoke about this for my goals for 2021, is just be present and just, focus more on family and just what really is important. So yeah, that was definitely my highlights. What about you? Because I was trying to follow you on social media, but then I deactivated and I was like, I can't keep up anymore.
No, it's fine. You know what? I had such a blissful holiday. My family, my mom and dad, they were in Cape Town. My brother came along too. And it really was just nice to spend quality time with the family. So we did Christmas in Sierra. So I had an only child Christmas for the first time in my life. Took a hike through the mountains with my dad and my mom, and of course we also hiked up to the Ceres Dam, which was really impressive how full it is compared to past hikes that I've done to the dam. And really we just try to stay safe, did outdoor activities. We were lucky enough to go wine tasting before the restrictions changed, so that was amazing. That was
and I see you were very active as well. Did you do any workouts?
Yes, I tried. I tried to maintain some sort of a balance from all the delicious eating, but you know what? It was just amazing.
You are putting us all to shame right now, because I'm sure I had trifle for breakfast at one point, gammon for like snacks in between. I was like, workout for what?
That is holiday. That is holiday though, and that's why you shouldn't feel guilty this time of the round. But you know what? What's amazing is we've got our little Nespressos here, and if you do know that you can recycle all of your capsules, so you just need to take them to a Nespresso boutique or booth, or simply give them to the courier when they deliver your next order, and you can really be making your difference in the environment.
Cheers to that, and cheers to a great festive and now a better 2021 for all of us. Can you just imagine, like, if we're already starting off like this, what the rest of 2021 is going to look like?
I'm excited. I really, really am excited. And to welcome a new year, we've got some amazing prizes up for grabs. Now, if it's a complete Nespresso starter kit that consists of the Pixie Machine bundle, 10 sleeves of coffee, Origin mugs, and an apron, and a special edition Karen Diash pen worth more than 5,600 Rand. Now, simply reply to the competition post that's on Expresso's Facebook or Twitter page and tell us the following. What are you doing differently to live more sustainably this year? Now, remember to include the hashtag Nespresso Expresso. The competition closes on Thursday, the 28th of January, so you have plenty of time to enter. It will close at midday, so please enter now. Those T's and C's are available on our website, and you can find them at expressoshow.com.
We chose some of the world's rarest local coffee crafts and refined them to create 5 distinct new tastes. After all, we are the choices we make.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso, here on SABC3. Now, it's a Monday, so we're talking all things relationships as we explore setting relationship goals as a couple. And today we're asking, how do you and your partner set goals for your relationship? We're back with clinical psychologist Asha Dulab to unpack this topic. So please do weigh in with your questions and comments on our Facebook page. We would love to actually engage with them on right here, live on the show.
And one of the first points that Asha made was, rather than having goals, because it is unpredictable and it's difficult to kind of set goals when the goalposts are moving so often, was to take the intention approach. And Sive's journal weighed in online saying, I'm practicing the intention approach this year with 2 full stops. Yeah, I am doing that. That's what I'm doing. I absolutely love that. Just to recap, why is it so important to have that in the back of your mind, as opposed to having a list of goals, but rather have the intentions behind what you're wanting to achieve?
Yeah, it actually leads us to our goals. The power of intention, the energy of our intentions. What happens is we have the intention, and then we have to give attention to our intentions, which then leads us to ultimately achieving our goals. But sometimes if we are too goal-directed, we can actually find ourselves distracted too much on the goal and therefore lose ourselves in the process and even lose the connection with our partner. So be more process-orientated, and yeah, that energy of intention is a beautiful way to connect. And journaling is a good way of doing it. There's something called morning pages, where people wake up in the morning and just take out a book and write out what their thoughts are for the day without any without too much thought into it, just very spontaneous and free, no editing, and just leaving it there. And it's surprising once you go back to it.
I was going to say, yeah.
You'll be surprised as what you're manifesting.
Paulina Williams weighed in on Facebook saying, we set goals by writing them down and see what is achievable within a specific time frame. Then we work towards making them a reality, and we are as happy as ever. The Williamses are as happy as ever. That idea of it being actually achievable, to take the time to consider that this is something that we can do. We all want to be millionaires. We all want to have, these amazing kind of milestones, but you want to make sure that you can actually set achievable goals.
Yeah, I think what we can do there is look at the SMART approach to goal setting. So SMART being be specific, the M being let the goal be measurable, the A achievable. Is it achievable? The R, relevant. Is it relevant? And let's look at time. Are we allocating enough time to achieve these goals? So using the SMART idea is a good way of looking at whether it is achievable, but it must really go back to being the specificness of the goal. Is your goal abundantly clear enough? Because sometimes we can get stuck in that process, and then we have to go right back to the specificness of the goal.
Be intentional with every single detail.
Abundantly clear of what exactly is it that you want. Is it to spend more time with your partner? Is it to have more date nights? Is it to have more time connecting with family, with friends?
And then how do you go about that?
How do you go about doing that?
Okay.
I mean, we're entering the new year now. How important is it to use this fresh energy of the brand new year to set your goals and go out there and be intentional with your actions?
The new year comes with new enthusiasm, new energy, invigorating energy, rejuvenating energy. So let's look at it as if we have a book with 365 new pages, 12 new chapters, and let's be the hero to our story. Let's rewrite the story with a sense of hope and positivity.
Thank you so much. You brought some of that positive energy right here. Hopefully you guys have taken something home from this. As a couple, have a chat. Just start with a conversation, and I think being mindful and conscious about where you are focusing your energy, your attention to grow as a couple. And as individuals as well, don't lose that individual identity. It's a great step on our continuous journey of being a healthy and happy couple and individual, I'll add to it. And if you'd like to get professional help about this or any topic that we ever cover on a Monday, if you're facing any difficulties, then you can reach out to Asha directly. You can email her on info@ashadulab.com. Well, we're going to have a little sing. I feel the energy of 2021, and we're going to invite.
Are you going to join us?
Well. Oh, you don't have a choice, girls. You don't have a choice.
Well, sometimes the key to being healthy and happy maybe is in a bit of song and dance, right? I know that it certainly does set the tone and set the mood. If anything, for us here in studio, it's going to set the tone for what the rest of this day is going to be like. And ourselves, the presenters, alongside Jared Ricketts, of course, and Mrs. Ricketts, are going to be singing This Little Light of Mine. I'm going to let it shine. Sing it, guys.
Hey, Gospel Mondays like you've never seen it before. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Maybe we change the key and give it to them. Come on, here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. We're taking it up because I know Jamie wants to give us a vibe. Here we go.
Guess what?
I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah, this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. 1, 2, 3. Let it shine. Everybody, come on. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. It's gonna shine, shine. This little light of mine. Oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Do, 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 do. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Maybe we hear from the missus now. Come on. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everybody, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine. And maybe the group over there, come on. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine.
You got that all out there, G.
Oh, man. Asha, are you feeling it?
I'm feeling it.
You're feeling it.
I'm shining.
That's it. That's the magic of it. Well done, guys. Yeah, a big round of applause to yourselves.
Well done.
Oh, beautiful stuff. Yeah.
What a beautiful way to kick off the week, to start off this morning.
Yes.
Thank you so much for choosing to start off your day with your Feel Good Breakfast Show. From all of us here to you, have a wonderful day.
We love
a
ya.
wonderful week.
Never forget it. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Let it shine.
Made with love by Clover.
Another Feel Good production.